Let's get started.
Here we go. Now let's get it all in perspective. We did it like that, and now we do it like this.
Do not attempt to adjust your dial. I'm transmitting live. Yo,
Let's get down to business.
Now let's get it all in perspective. We did it like that, and now we do it like this.
All right.
for the underground world, every street and borough.
You may learn something.
Experience.
You are now listening to the Joe Rogan Experience with Chico, Simon, Kamar, and your host, Matt Floyd.
Welcome to the Joe Rogan Experience. My name is Matt Floyd, joined as always by Kamar.
Welcome to the party.
And Simon.
Hello.
What we do here is very simple. The three of us have listened to every episode of the Joe Rogan Experience this week. We're going to rate each episode as well as the week on a scale of 1 to 5 Jamie Vernon's. We're then going to talk about each guest, the talking points, give our opinions, this, that, and the next. But first, Kamar, we have some new patrons to announce.
Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Like and subscribe. Hit that notification button so you know when the next episode's coming out. Join the Patreon.
I mean, that works on YouTube, yeah. I guess.
Join the Patreon now for the Post Joe, the most exclusive Patreon in the world. Not many people know about it. It's very, very low key.
Yeah, it is pretty exclusive.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
That's a good way to put it.
You wonder about catfish. These Patreons are catfishing me. $20 from Kimberly Martinez in February.
You're supposed to say how much.
I know I'm not supposed to do that.
That's weird.
But,
What up, Kim? Shout out.
Thank you, Kimberly.
it was an ally.
Really appreciate it.
And I think
Gonna buy a lot of Zin for Kamara.
we got another one last week. Well, you know.
We got another one last week, you know. Are you going to give us
Go
that
ahead.
name? Like, what's going on here?
I know.
You having a fucking stroke?
I think I'm going to say it again, but I don't care.
I think I'm going to say it again.
Sophia Rowich.
Sophia, shout outs. Is that 2 women?
Did I say that?
I don't remember. I don't know. Either
That's what
way.
I'm saying.
Double
Like,
shout outs
double
are better
shout-out
than no
anyways.
shout out.
And a big shout out to Mindy Bolt, a longtime Patreon. We all send our condolences about your house burning down. And we got you back.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Kamar, how was your week?
Who did you say?
Mindy Bolt.
Mindy Bolin.
She loves you guys.
Thanks.
Oh, thanks. That's nice of her.
Mindy, thank you.
We love her.
Let's go.
I owed him money. I'm giving him money.
It's just a weird time to
Yeah,
process
it is.
that.
Yeah, but he
I
mentioned
remembered
it. So, yeah.
now, and I would have forgotten, and I don't
Yeah,
want to
so we
forget.
wrote it down, and we tried to do it quietly, but you brought it to attention. Kamar, how was your week?
Tough week. I mean, I don't think I could be doing well had the Lions won. Right now, just anxiety, waiting this week and for next week, and then I should be in the game. I guess that's stupid to say, but it was
That sounds like loser talk to me.
it was a tough. Well, I'm a Lions fan, right?
Listen, you have to realize it's obviously very difficult to win a Super Bowl, and I mean, I don't know.
I remember when the Sens got to it was a game 6 or something against Buffalo, I think, and I was actually at the game. And
That was the first time we made a deep run.
But the
in that.
worst thing is I think they lost 2-0 or something. But the energy before the game was like nothing I've ever experienced before. And the fact that we didn't even get a release in the whole game and just left so dejected, it traumatized me. It really did traumatize me. It was such a letdown. And at least this was a brave effort.
I mean, listen, it's crazy that sitting here 6 months ago, I asked you, I was like, who's going to be in the Super Bowl? And you said, without missing a beat, you were like, the Detroit Lions. And I said to you, I was like, Kamar, I love your enthusiasm, but that seems like you're shooting a bit high.
Yes.
And you
That's
weren't
what
shooting.
thought.
Yeah, you were not shooting that high. I also, at that time, was like, San Francisco's going to get exposed this season. They did not.
Well, maybe if we didn't go on a 4th down. And also, I got a great email this week. I'm going on tour. Pembroke, Smith Falls, Cornwall, Ottawa, Kingston. Dates will be announced later.
God, that's such a depressing tour.
Those locales?
Yeah.
You got to start somewhere.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. Congrats. Come on.
Thank you very much.
Happy
Thank
for
you very much.
As I always am. Simon, how was your week?
My week was just fine, Matt. Thank you.
That's
for
it?
asking.
Yeah.
No, I think that's it.
You're not watching anything that you want to...
Did we talk about that new Band of Brothers show?
Yeah.
You know the
did
only thing that
last
bugs
week,
me about that
Yeah, tell me.
is the guy is stuck in Elvis Presley.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ever since he's done that role, every character is Elvis Presley.
What bugs
Oh,
what
we're just
bugs
gonna go for a
me
fly.
is that they wear their masks all the time. So you have no idea who's who except for Elvis Presley because his eyes are like captivating.
just
you know?
pierce.
You know he was Tex in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
Yeah.
Oh shit, he was. Like, no shit. Yeah. Wow.
He was Elvis there too. Maybe it wasn't so much Elvis. But
Anyways, yeah. I mean, it's not nearly as good as the original, but it's just nice to have something.
do you feel like you'd want to do that? Like if you got in the army
No.
in the 40s?
Those guys were sent in. Those are like suicide runs. Doing that during the day is insane.
And I feel like they were drunk all the time.
Some of them.
Just constantly coping. And like then all of a sudden you wake up, you got to...
Well, again, that goes to my whole decisions being made by drunk people during war, you know?
I mean, it really is crazy to think that all governments have no problem sending in waves of men that they know for certain are going to die
Would you rather be in that bomber or
on the beaches of Normandy.
jumping off on the beach
me.
and just
I
running?
think
right
I'd
at-
rather be on the beach. I feel like
Really?
my destiny's more in my own hands.
That's the soonest
that
you can
way.
just get a dead body and lie under it.
Yeah, man. I don't know. The beach is dicey, Simon.
No, listen, I don't want to be on the beach. The beach didn't look good. But being trapped up in those planes, like, it's just a crapshoot whether you're getting
Yeah,
shot out
yeah.
of the sky. You should see the footage. Like, if it's true, it was like that. They're flying and it's just bombs exploding.
Oh, you haven't
everywhere,
watched it
you
yet?
know?
Keep in mind, though, you are wearing a parachute.
No. The parachute only works if you get a chance to jump out. If you're
Yeah, but
just
what I'm saying
destroyed,
is, I get it, but like the front, let's say the front tip of the plane gets hit and you're in the back, you might still
You have a chance.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, then you're jumping out over enemy territory and
Well, you're
you're
doing
going to
that anyway,
end up as the guys who jumped on the beach anyways, you know? So it's like double the
And
fucking risk.
it's freezing cold.
Yeah, the cold always fucked me
It
up.
was freezing. That's why those leather suits look cool, but they were
nice.
actually to survive.
You know, Steven Spielberg's son is in that, eh?
I thought it was his daughter, but sure.
Not a surprise.
His daughter?
I don't see gender, obviously.
He put his wife in the second Indiana Jones, and she was fucking terrible.
Okay, there's
She's the blonde in that?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
really?
Yeah.
there's something
Capshaw.
about those guys in those planes that reminds you of the Millennium Falcon, which obviously that was inspired
I think
by
that was
by
the point. It's because he wears a jacket like that, no?
Well, no, it's the gunner who's not flying, like the teamwork of the. I don't know. I always thought those bombers were super cool.
Anyways, the whole idea of war, like you were saying, is crazy. And, you know, the wars are never for like good causes. They're always for some ulterior motive. Like World War II gets this pass because they helped the Jews out in the concentration camps, but that was not at all the point, right? Like that was a
It's a byproduct. They found
byproduct
those,
of
yeah.
the fact that they were over there doing whatever they wanted for whatever reason they wanted to do it.
Someone telling me that Europeans were giving their daughters to soldiers. Like, please take my daughter. Thank you so much.
Well, if you have nothing else to give,
That's
Why? For what though?
because they
Like,
saved them.
fornicate.
To save them? Because
No,
they
no, not
saved them?
because they saved them. Yeah.
Interesting.
By the way, for listeners, aristocracy.
Yeah, I saw it. I read it in an article. Still couldn't do it. And thought I'd come in here. Good on you.
Yeah, aristocracy.
Yeah.
I forget it the second aristocracy.
And someone also told me, I don't know how to look it up, but in the 70s, bowling was bigger than the NFL.
Yeah, you're forgetting though that like in the well, I think you're forgetting a few things. Many of the biggest sports weren't that big until the 90s.
They were just live events as well.
Yeah, like the
So TV
NBA,
got
the
involved.
NBA, like that whole The Winning Time series is about like the real birth of the NBA. Before that, it was just like 10,000 people in a smoky auditorium. Like you might not even find out the basketball scores for 3 days.
Sports just exploded. How's your-
Highlight used to be big.
Highlight, yes.
You know what I mean? Like, so
And sumo wrestling, do you think that's a sport of the past?
no, if you go to Japan, it's
No,
so
I
huge.
just watched the championships.
Yeah, and it's massive, right?
Crazy.
Yeah. It's the same.
Yeah, but it's massive in Japan.
Yes.
Yeah, but I mean, listen, that's unfair. Like, you know, rugby is a popular sport.
All across the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. Japan is the only place.
Sure,
where
but
they
okay,
seem-
fine.
A tiny little island nation.
They have a lot of people, though.
And the athlete, the supreme athlete, is this giant fat guy. It's the best.
Yeah.
Anyways, I don't. You can't put
Sumo and
wrestling
rugby.
and rugby on the same.
No, my point was just
plane.
like, I don't even think it matters. Like, if one, like, let's say rugby was just played in New Zealand and only people in New Zealand loved it, it doesn't make it, I guess it makes it slightly less relevant, but listen, the CFL survives.
I mean,
And I always think the CFL should have just followed. Well, it started before
It's the oldest.
NFL football, but they should have switched over.
it was kind of cool when they moved into America and they got all those weird American.
No, that was the
teams.
worst.
No, I like that. That was
I liked
neat,
it a lot
man.
too.
Yeah,
At least have 4 downs.
that was the shit.
You have to have 4 downs. It's fucking bananas. What are we doing here? Also, the field is entirely
They
too
just
big.
do it to be contrary too. It's not like
The
they know
Rouge,
it's
there's
not.
so many
they know
stupid
it's
things.
not good, and they're just like, yeah, but we got to be different than the NFL.
You know what it's like?
Feels
It's
that
like
way.
it's like the WNBA. Like I heard them. Someone was asking WNBA players. They're like, "What if we just like lowered the net?" And they were all so fucking insulted by the idea of lowering the net.
Well, you've aimed on a certain height your whole life. That would be sort of tough. But cool that they
It would
allowed
be
to
good
dunk.
for the dunkers and bad for everybody else. You know?
Oh yeah, sorry. Hockey is such a different sport without the hits.
I know.
You
Yes,
watched
I
that
said that
women's
last night.
hockey?
So like ridiculous.
That's the
or,
worst.
Or it's actually it seems polite, like, oh, I lost the puck to you.
Yeah,
So
enjoy, sir.
I
Yeah.
will now go on defense,
Yeah.
and you still come against me.
Oh, to say even I'll go on defense is a little bit of a
a
stretch.
good day, sir.
Yeah.
It's just such a weird thing to see, but
It's like the NFL, though. The Pro Bowl is a joke.
yes. Well, at least it's flag football now.
Yeah, and at least
when
they
they go to hit and sort of soft hit, what do you?
At least they do it at the end of the season too, because like doing it mid-season, guys aren't going out there and like, oh, I really got to give it my all for the All-Star game.
Basketball may be the only one that works, or we established baseball does because it means something.
yeah. Now
team
it
wins.
means something.
And
with their
basketball
new
is just
fucking
there's no
rules.
fouling, so they just. Oh my god! If you watch clips of John Morant and his steps,
His
Yeah, you
steps.
said
What does
this
that mean?
last week?
I know, but I saw more. It's just magical that.
His traveling.
John Morant's electric. It's insane.
Yeah, but he's cheating, or maybe it's 2.5 in the NBA.
But they all do it, dude.
They all do it,
Have you
yeah.
gone and looked at LeBron's fucking travel
I
highlights?
didn't mean
It's
to- I didn't mean to-
insane.
It's just a weird thing that had I known that in high school, that eventually I could do 3 steps.
Oh, you'd be
for-
an amazing basketball player.
possibly.
So funny too. You guys were both last week. You were both like
Maybe
no
on
one.
the ladies'
Last week you
team.
were both like no one does the pivot anymore. Luca this week hit like the fucking craziest shot on like a pivot, 2-step jump. Like, you see Anthony Edwards? You see what he did this week, dude? He steps up to like the top of the key, pump fakes this dude. The dude bites, like jumps way past him, and then he throws the ball off the backboard and jumps up for his own fucking insane alley-oop. Like, might have been fucking play of the year.
Must
My
be
week was fine,
nice.
Kamar. How was your week? No, we did yours.
We're done.
Fine, that's it. Whatever, we're done the show. Kamar, you want to go over the guest list so we can do it?
I'd love to, and I'd like to say I think Joe might be turning a corner, or maybe people are just sick about talking about the things he incessantly talks about. But we start off with 2094, Colion Noir, followed by 2095, A Breath of Fresh Air, Moshe Kasher. Then we had the Josh Dubin from the Innocence Project with Sheldon Johnson, 2096. And we finish off the week with Simon's favorite comedian, 2097, Jeff Dye.
Jeff Dye.
Good friend of Terry Bradshaw.
Apparently.
You want to rate it? I give it a 4. I give the week a 4.
A 4.
Yeah,
No,
I knew you'd
that's-
be
that's
outraged by that.
crazy.
Well, that's fine.
fucking
That's
crazy.
my rating. I know you're going
I
to.
really can give it a 4 as well.
Yeah.
I really can.
The fact that you're going to give it like some fucking stupid like 3.264.
What was the first one?
Colion Noir,
Yeah, terrible. What was the second one?
Moshe Kasher,
Good.
Josh Dubin.
Not my cup of tea.
You're such a dick.
And last,
I don't care for people
Die. I'll go with a 3.5.
So pretty close to a 4,
Well,
which you were
not.
outraged
It's
about.
half. We're rating out a 5.
We have an agreement. You can't just hit another button. That's not how this works.
As if he just succumbed to peer pressure like that.
He didn't. I just made an agreement because fuck this guy.
This guy.
Oh, and that's why you revolted.
Yeah. All right, come on. Well, let's start it off.
I was revolted and I revolted.
2094 colon noir. Now the reason why this is terrible is all they talk about
That's the Zin talking.
is guns and cars.
Yeah, guns and cars. And it couldn't have been more fucking painful to listen to this. I wanted to run myself over with a car and then shoot myself in the head with a gun.
What's interesting is I like both things. Like I don't own a gun and I don't have a car worth talking about. So that's probably why I don't converse about it. But like I like both things. Don't want to talk about it. It's like video games. I like video games. You're probably not going to induce me into like a deep conversation about video games.
Really?
Probably
Even though
not.
you have video games.
Yeah.
But if you had gun and nice cars, you might talk about it.
No, because I know me, even if I had a nice car, I wouldn't know jack shit about how it worked. I wouldn't know, like, I don't know. I would just, if I had a nice car, Kamar, I would have one and it would be to drive it fast. It wouldn't be because I'm like a car enthusiast.
Colin enjoys the city. You are much happier now living outside of the city? Would you say?
I like living outside of the city, huh?
I feel like you would not be comfortable.
I do prefer the city. I am, as he said, a city rat. I like exactly what he said. I just like the energy. I grew up in the city.
Access to stuff.
Yeah, I don't know.
This isn't really the city. It's like, you know.
There's a million people here. There's as many people here as there are in
The
Austin.
cities we're going to get around
I'm
here.
just saying it's a different vibe than like living in New York City.
Okay, well, I lived there. I've lived in Toronto. I lived in Vancouver. I lived in Montreal. I've lived in big cities. The point being, Simon, when you meet someone who's from a small town versus Ottawa, you understand it real quick.
Yeah, no, agreed.
They're nicer.
Yeah, Kamar, I definitely up. I'm also a Nighthawk, and like, I think the city energy.
I wonder if you live very comfortable in a rural setting. Like you had everything you needed.
I could do that, yeah.
Maybe.
High speed internet's always a big one. Because everyone I know that lives in the country has garbage internet, and I'm like, I don't know how you.
I definitely enjoy going to the city, like going to Toronto and stuff, but
I love Toronto.
I don't think I would want to live there.
No, the city just stresses me out. Not here because it's not a city, but like living in Montreal, if I had to live in Toronto, I couldn't do it.
I mean, Kamar, I also say that, like, Simon's right in the sense where traffic here, like, even at its worst, is not. Like, Toronto traffic, Montreal traffic, fucking nightmare.
Yeah, I do not use traffic because I use public transportation. So
Yeah, but you had a car.
yeah, no, and it's the worst obviously when you have to go somewhere. I don't like how Joe keeps saying my friend Everlast.
Yeah, I noticed that
you
too.
can just say Everlast.
First of all, if you're gonna say my friend, at least use his real name. You know what I mean? His real name isn't Everlast.
Todd.
It's Everlast Johnson.
No, man. His real name is something else. He
I'm
used it in
joking,
an
I know.
album.
Whitey
title.
Ford.
Is that
His name is not Whitey Ford.
I know his name is not Whitey Ford.
Anyways, yeah, I didn't like it either. My friend.
Who gives a fuck?
Eric Francis Schrody.
Let me make this clear. If you had one quasi-famous friend, you would go out of your way at every fucking turn. I know you would. It's not even a question.
They were talking
My
about
You
cars.
said my friend Paul Verzi.
My friend Elon
They were
Musk. It
talking
doesn't
about,
make sense for Joe.
They were talking about cars, and Colin mentioned one, and he said, "Yeah, my friend Everlast has one of
I
those. Everlast has one of those. Ice Cube has one of those. I mean, these are all his friends. Unless they really call each other. No, you hang up. No, you hang up. I don't know. It just bugs me, and I'm probably wrong. They got into a weird conversation about how guys can get fooled by young girls.
Yeah.
Like it happens to everyone.
Which they're correct about.
And I felt creepy. Then he talked about his friend who had sex with his best friend and got her pregnant and then didn't pay for it. But wouldn't say their names and said he'd tell them later. It's Sam Kinison and Carl LeBove. But right after...
Whoa, what? Repeat that, sorry?
It was Sam Kinison and Carl LeBove.
Who said this, Joe?
Joe was saying...
And how do you know that it's Sam Kinison? I'm curious.
Because I'm sure it is. Because Carl LeBove talked about it. It's public knowledge. I'm not talking to school. But then he goes, my buddy Dave Foley's getting screwed right now. Those guys are dead. You could talk about it more comfortably than throwing Dave on the bus. Now he's mentioned it before, but just seeing a weird omission and then Dave Foley, because I believe he used to say my friend got this, but then
I feel like
Dave Foley's out
he
there catching
doesn't
strays
have the
for no
right
reason.
information either.
Joe doesn't have the correct information. Is what
Correct.
you're saying?
Like, I'm not saying that Canada's not a crazy with laws. You know what I mean? I don't think he has it all correct. I think he's like mixed up the story a little bit.
Well, in his defense, he's going off of purely what he reads. He hasn't been here since well before COVID.
Well, no. He's going off what he remembers hearing from Dave Foley.
Sure.
Maybe Dave was angry when he said it. You know, it
Do you
just
think
was
Dave Foley's
There's a lot of angry Canadians,
paying
Simon.
this alimony that Joe thinks he is? Or
Well, he said that you have to pay it forever in perpetuity.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's true.
I think
When
it's
you
true.
get remarried,
Yeah, but a lot of people just don't get the whole scam is that you just get with someone and you don't remarry.
yeah. Okay. Anyways, I'd have to re-listen to what Joe said, Dave Foley said. And
Yeah.
you see the problem
Yeah,
right
yeah.
there, right? Like, Joe's telling us a story of somebody who told him a story. And how long ago did Dave Foley tell him about this? Like, anyways, I would love to have somebody finally
we
call
want to get to
him
the
on
bottom of
that.
this. It's crazy in Texas that you can give someone a gun.
Why?
Well, we just think it's so crazy to
How can
acquire
you
a
give
gun. Now.
somebody a gun?
I think you just hand it to them. It's-
No, you have to be licensed.
I don't
to-
think so.
What?
What do you mean
That's what they're
license?
saying.
What-
They're saying
What do you mean license? Like, when you get a gun in the United States, if you presumably if you're not buying it off the black market,
Well, it's different state from state.
it's a registered weapon,
Yeah.
meaning they know you own that gun. There's a serial number for that gun. That gun is linked to you. There's no just.
maybe I simplified
Here,
it, and they
take
have to
this
go
gun.
to the DMV and.
I think you
transfer it
can give
over.
somebody a gift of a gun, but you have to do the necessary.
Fun fact, Simon, none of those records are digitized.
Really, they're all written down on paper. It's a pencils up scenario.
I don't think it's a pencil.
So
I-
the pencils would be down to do that.
yeah, no, they don't. I believe there's some law that says they can't digitize the gun registry. And again, I think it's different state to state. I don't think every state you have to register. I think some states, you're also forgetting about gun shows.
I still think you register guns at gun shows.
If the
Like,
gun
there's,
laws, if our gun laws were the same as America, somehow they are in some other alternate universe, one of us would have guns.
I would have 50.
You were the guy that I don't know if I would, but I shot a gun once when I was young and it scared me.
I like shooting guns. I like the target aspect of it.
But I just see how Americans, when they talk about guns, it just sounds so foreign. Because if someone were to come in here right now and have a gun, it'd be like, am I doing something illegal by being in the room with it? You know what I mean?
But if someone
see
come in
why-
here with if someone came in here with a gun and you knew that I had a bunch, wouldn't you feel a little bit better?
Well, that's their argument.
Yeah, I know, I get it.
And so there's a lot of gun talk, a lot of car talk. I felt like Joe was trying to goad Colin into helping him rant about immigration, the war in Ukraine and everything, all those hot button issues, but he'd rather just talk about guns, personal accountability, and
Someone on the
cars.
YouTube brought up a good point that I think is worth mentioning. They were like, a lot of the money that the U.S. is giving to the Ukraine is in the form of like old military supplies. It's not like they're just handing them bushels of cash. I mean, I'm sure that's happening as well. Let's be serious.
But they just had 40 guys arrested for $40 million, and I'm sure that's just the
Tip of the iceberg, yeah. But their point was a lot of it's like, here's a $40 million Sherman tank from.
and now we get to build a new one to replace it.
Yeah.
The
Yeah, but
system goes
you're
on.
talking about billions of dollars. So even if there's $1 billion of dollars in cash, that
I get
is
it.
so much money.
I understand. I'm just, their point was like, they're not just sending over $50 billion
They're not
in
sending
cash.
over skids of money.
That
is what
was
you're
the
saying.
point, yeah.
Sure, fair enough.
A day when all cars have a kill switch, that's not a good day. If I ever get a car, I think I'm always going to go gas.
Yeah, you can't ever go electric. Listen, after we watch the Obamas tell us that those electric cars are going to go crazy and smash into each other.
Hybrid, maybe.
They can turn off most new gas cars.
So that's it. You need a classic car.
Yes, if you have a classic, no computer in the car, the computer is the component that
You're
gives you
sure?
the kill
You
switch.
need
all
to get
cars.
like a 1982 Toyota Corolla,
That'll do for sure. There's no fucking. But I think you're forgetting that, like, if you're like, I guess the kill switch, you're just concerned that if you say something online, they can turn your car off. That's your like.
Well, yeah. Well, that's the one thing that made me consider Simon's position on Elon Musk is if he got everyone in with their Neuralink and everyone was driving his car, he then decides, you didn't pay this month. Turn your car off.
Or turn you off if you have Neuralink in, or turn you into a Manchurian candidate or into a soldier to do his bidding. Like none of that's good, and that's the same thing that the like people forget that all of Elon's companies, none of it is his own cash.
They're not his. Oh yeah.
First of all, he buys other people's proprietary. We know that he's not that smart a guy. But he gets so much money from the government in way of grants. Of just them paying for his work. You know, he's doing the military or the government space program right now. Like,
so I mean, you know what I never thought of, but I love the idea that like you sign up for Neuralink because you have some debilitating disease, right? And they're like, okay, we need you to sign this paperwork. You sign because they're like, you're going to walk again, whatever. You're going to not have MS or fucking crippling arthritis, whatever it is. So you get this thing, the Neuralink, they put it in you and they're like, we did it for free because, you know, we're still testing the thing out. And you're like, that's awesome. And you go out into the world and you're having dinner with your friend, you're having a conversation, and mid-conversation, you're like, well, my daughter just got into Tesla. Have you had a new Tesla? You know what I mean? Like, like it's programmed in where every hour you have to deliver a 30-second Tesla ad or a 30-second.
Did you ever watch that show? It was on Prime. People die and they bring them back. I think it's called Upload.
And you got to pay for the bandwidth or something.
Yeah. And if you don't have the money, you have to play their commercials in your brain all the time. Like, fuck, man.
You know, it's funny too, but that guy Constantine, he's been on Joe a bunch of times with his buddy. They have yes. I saw a clip from his podcast the other day, and he was talking about, he was asking this guy, he's like, do you know how many people have been arrested and imprisoned for things they've written on social media in the UK in the last like year?
How many?
It's like 1,500.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And again, I was expecting.
Why isn't Joe railing against them? We haven't put anyone in jail.
We must have.
1,500. That's interesting because that's the number of.
Again, when I say 1,500 to any listener, I'm throwing a number out that it could be substantially lower than that. Even if it's 700, though, that's
even if it's 150 people. That seems like way too many people to be put in jail for things you wrote, unless it's like doxing people that puts them in jeopardy. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, even then, 150, those would be the most egregious doxing case. To throw someone in prison, Simon. We're talking about prison.
And what are you talking about too? Like, is this where people bully other people and then they like commit suicide? Like, these are all.
Yeah. No, most of them were like the Count Fuckula guy, the guy
that's offensive.
Yeah.
That's the one thing. But if it's causing someone to kill themselves.
Yeah,
I understand that there's a fine line, Simon. But again, you have to agree that if there's 1,500, it's probably not 1,500 cases of someone getting someone to commit suicide or doxing or.
No, I wonder if those stats are included in
YouTube. I said get someone to fill themselves just for the 1,500 was the amount of names to faces we can have. That was just an interesting coincidence.
What do you mean?
Well, they were just talking about your friend group. You can only have 150 friends or your tribe, whatever, but you can have 1,500 like
I recognize you.
Faces. Yeah, exactly.
I feel like I could, if I don't remember names, so I feel like I could get 3,000 faces. Because I have no names in there.
I remember that person, but you can't say who they are.
Yeah. Like I could be like, dude,
1,500. I bet it's 1,500.
It's crazy, Kamar. I could be like, you used to take the 7.
You have some weird connection. Yeah, like you don't know their name.
Exactly. But I will like, dude, someone who's given me their name 15 times. I'm like, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I don't.
Because there is something about a familiar face.
Yeah.
Have you ever?
I feel like there are people in my past, though, that I remember a certain way and I would never recognize them now. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, Simon, it's like I went to that fucking, the Italian joint by your mom's place and the kid serving us, I was like, you look really familiar. Like, did you work in the bars? And like, we go through all this, we went through everywhere that I could have known this kid from. And he's like, no. And then that was it. We were just like, fuck, I guess I don't know you. And then he comes up at the end and he was like, hey, do you bowl? And I was like, dude, you worked at the bowling lane. Like, you know what I mean? Like, He knew me. I knew him. We didn't know each other. We didn't know. I don't know. Faces are way easier for me. No way. But names, I'm terrible with. I feel like you can't remember a name to save your life, Simon.
No, I can't remember
Yeah.
anybody's name.
You too. There's no fucking way you're good with names. Impossible.
No, horrible names with people I know for a long time. But have you ever seen someone who's like, remember me, and you don't even recognize them? They've aged poorly or they've just changed a lot.
Yeah, it's tough, especially
That's
with
an
women.
awkward, oh yeah, sort of kind of thing. Oh, girl. Oh, there's the worst when you see a girl. Well, that was the
Yeah, it
next
was
point.
really like falling
Women
off.
thrive in youth. Men
Yeah.
thrive as they get older. And to be like, hey, yeah, crazy times.
It's definitely interesting to get older, like you're saying, because girls that would never have fucked me in like my 20s because I was gross and a bum, now they're gross.
Yeah.
And I'm like not a fine wine, but a box of
That's
wine.
why they should do their OnlyFans, because they're not going to be able to do it when they're older and they actually need the money.
That's true.
That you said Italian place.
Yeah, like none of the MILFs are actually MILFs. You know what I mean?
No, they're all like 29.
This is a bad idea. But my friend is this big Italian comedian. He was headlining last week, and he just shits on Preston. Like most Italian guys be like, "This is a great place." He's like, your food is inedible, and he goes to shit on Di Rienzo's, which is crazy because that's sort of like a staple
No, that
of the
place
city.
stinks. That place fucking sucks.
I agree. I don't think.
Well,
It's
he goes. So
Ain't what it used to be. It used to be the best sandwich in the city.
So I order a sandwich. I say, "Can I get double meat?" And the guy's like, "Hey, get a load of this fucking guy." He goes, "Hey, man, we're sort of known for the amount of meat we put on our sandwich." He goes, "Hey, guy, I'm sort of known for doubling that meat." And it just killed. It was really funny.
that is really funny. Are you ever that funny?
I was.
He's
funny.
Ottawa's funniest fucking comedian, Simon.
Soon to
Back
go on
off.
tour. I was
Soon to go on tour.
I was very funny on Tuesday. I said, if you can name me 5 people who are on American Idol, I will fucking blow you to the audience.
Yeah.
And everyone sort of laughed, whatever.
Clay Aiken, Kelly Clarkson,
That big black guy, fat guy.
Ruben Stubbard.
Yeah,
Ruben.
Stoddard.
The one that won the Oscar for Dreamgirls, Jennifer Hudson.
And
That's
one
5.
more. No,
Let's
that's
pull it.
4.
Oh, that's 4. Get ready to pull your cock.
Well,
out.
anyways, it's a question I asked that doesn't have an answer. And then I get off stage. Well, it doesn't.
It does. We just gave it to you.
Well, hold on. This is what makes it funny, though. Then I introduce someone. Then when I come back and hey guys, this is kind of awkward. Some dude just came up to me and named 5 winners of American Idol. I'm going to go downstairs and blow him. You ruined it by knowing 5, but you're gay.
It's not funny.
Did
I
I
like it.
record it? Yeah, it's funny. It's funny.
Did I record it?
It's a repeatable hosting trick. It's whatever you wouldn't understand. Could you imagine having 100,000 emails outstanding?
First off, I don't like having anything on my phone where
Like
it's like,
a little red dot.
dude, Mary has red dots that are like, it's like 4,000, and it drives me nuts. I'm like, how do you live like this?
They said they both have in excess of 100 million like waiting, and I'm sure there are a lot of bots and stuff. But
Listen, the amount of emails we get for Joe, I can imagine that the amount of emails he gets, like, dude, the most obscure people in the world hit Joe up to be on the show. Like, I get so many emails where it's like, hey, I represent this guy who once trained Keanu Reeves, and we think he'd be a great guest on the show. And I'm like, I almost want to respond like, bro, it's never happening.
he would be. Give me his phone number. I'll call him. They talked about Duncan Trussell's joke that Adderall comes from a scientist who took cocaine and said, I can make that better, which would be hilarious if that's what happened. Because did you watch Griselda?
I did.
There was for sure a time when cocaine was just like not illegal secret drug.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? People were doing it and didn't realize that it was going to get exploited by the CIA, yada, 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 and all those other things, which we'll talk about probably in the...
They used to sell cocaine chewing gum, Kamar.
It was just
Used to put cocaine in Coca-Cola.
Yeah. No, they still do.
the good old days. Do you have anyone in your family who has a mail order bride?
No. Oh,
No uncle just show up and he's got some Asian wife or whatever,
Yes.
and like
but like that's like it's on the other side.
yeah,
It's like a
but
weird. Yes, we
it's
do have
just a
that.
weird
Yeah.
thing. Guys give up on trying the traditional route of meetings and just farm it out.
I've watched a lot of 90 Day Fiance,
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about, right? It's people going and meeting, not quite mail order, but a lot of the times you're wondering whether the person's doing it just for the green card, you know?
Oh, they're doing it for the green card. Get the
How
fuck
would
outta
you
here.
ever be sure? I guess with the mail order brides, you know exactly everybody's on the up and up. It's different if you're like meeting this person and like, you know, you're meeting them online and then you start sending them money and then you're actually meeting them in person and then you're bringing them back over here. It's fucking weird, man.
They got normalized really fast.
Well, probably because of 90 Day Fiance.
No, this is one I don't
No,
understand.
you got to be done. We got.
Yeah. They said elephant tusks are getting smaller because they realize people want them.
What could be an evolutionary thing?
That's what they were suggesting. I just don't.
That it could happen that fast seems.
I don't know how the elephant knows. Oh, they cut it. I guess when.
What do you mean? They
must
see their fucking comrades dead on the ground.
And they have
missing
good
tusks.
If you think about it too, considering that they say, and I know this is like elephants have the best memory.
Yeah.
If they do, that it could happen quicker, I guess.
Then they're super intelligent. They're noticing. Hey, those guys had their tusks removed. It must be the tusks.
It just seems like evolution doesn't work.
That might take a million
fast,
years
you
for
know?
them to figure
Maybe
that
not
out.
a million years, but 1,000
or
years.
they're
It
that-
hasn't
But even
happened
then, if you think
that,
about how
you know?
long they've probably been poaching ivory, you're thinking about it in a very modern term.
That's
We've probably
true.
been poaching
1,000
ivory for
years.
hundreds of years, maybe 1,000 years. Yeah,
Well, the Egyptians probably were doing
that's what I'm saying. So there's no reason to say it hasn't been
10,000
going on
years.
for thousands of years.
He raises a point. Well, that'd be cool. Yeah, this was about fighting and gun talk. I give it a 3. Because Joe tried to goad him in those places and they just talked about this boring stuff.
This gets like a 1.5 from me. I thought this was fucking Dullsville, USA.
I'll give it a 2.5. Considering it was Coley Nor and I thought it was going to be one thing, it ended up, not as bad as I thought. I did fall asleep listening to it, but
The only reason I liked it is because I knew that Sam Kinison tidbit.
that's the only reason.
Well, I'll tell you after the show is the worst that we ever hear.
Yeah.
Especially in lieu of Cat Williams.
All right, Kamar, let's move on.
This is sort of weird to do it this way, but yeah, I'll do it anyways. Thank you. Join the Patreon, like and subscribe.
Oh, you know what? I should. It was my sister's birthday this week, so happy birthday to her. And it's gonna be Mary's birthday on Monday, so
Oh yeah.
happy birthday to Mary.
Happy birthday, Shani.
And it's going to be Matt's birthday on Wednesday.
Oh yeah,
Everyone's in
it's also gonna
February.
be mine. Yeah,
What sign does that make you?
Aquarius.
Aquarius.
2097, Jeff Dye.
What? That's not the order.
No, I know
It's
it is,
okay.
but I decided to pull it on you.
Jeff Dye. That's the guy.
I mean, you had to be a little bit excited
Listen,
at
I
one
like
point,
the things
Simon.
they were talking about. There's no doubt about that. I found him, like I told you, a little bit bitty,
Bit bitty, yeah.
but it didn't ruin the podcast for me, you know?
You know what? I'm not going to disagree. I think there's people that are a bit bitty and it bothers me, and then I think there's other people that are a bit bitty and it just for some reason, maybe it's because he was a first time guest and like he just came in with good energy. He seemed like, I don't know.
Yeah, no, he did have great energy.
Great energy.
Let's get going on this guy.
2097, Jeff Dye. Have you seen the photo of him and Joe?
No, is he he's really tall?
He's
this guy?
really tall. Or Joe's really short.
Joe's
Joe
really
is
short.
really
Joe
short.
is really short, but this guy doesn't sound big.
Yeah.
But in that photo, you're like, what is this guy centered the NBA?
Kamar, someone posted a video the other day, a short video of Steph Curry standing beside Kevin Hart. And Steph Curry is like double the height of Kevin Hart.
Shit. And we think Steph Curry is
It's
Kevin
just
Hart on the court.
Well, yeah, because when you look at Steph Curry, he looks like Kevin Hart out there, but you realize you're like he's 6'3" or 6.
Well, it's like Steve Nash. Steve Nash, you're like, oh, well, that guy's 5'8".
Yeah, he's
He's
6'1".
not. He's 6'2" or
Yeah,
something.
that's what I'm saying.
Or 6'3". He's like not a short guy.
No, there are no. Listen, there
He's
are no
just
more Spud
comparatively
Webbs.
to the 7-footers in the league.
Dude, Victor Wembanyama, real quick. Victor Wembanyama, the year that Rudy Gobert, 2018, the year that Rudy Gobert won Defensive Player of the Year, I think he had like 47 steals and then like 180 blocks or something like that. Wemby already has that this season.
Wow.
Dude, watching him out there, it's nuts. Like he blocked Giannis the other night. Like you're watching a dude who's 7
Don't you
foot.
feel like some anxiety that he's just going to snap?
Yes. Every time he gets on the court, I'm
Like,
like,
that's the difference. Rudy Gobert is like a fucking monster, no?
no, he's
muscle
pretty
on the
skinny
bones.
too.
Is he?
Yeah, he's pretty
Okay.
skinny too.
I thought he was like a big fucking
Yeah,
freshman.
he'd be comfortable in this room, eh?
Okay.
Dude, no way he could come down here.
have a
He'd
low
be
ceiling.
bent over.
It'd be so, yeah.
They talked a lot of comics. Jeff Dye is in love with Casey Rockets. You hate Casey Rockets. I love Casey Rockets.
Which one's Casey Rockets?
I don't hate
you have a
Casey
Percocet? I left it at home.
Rockets. I would like him better if he really was a drug addict.
This is how you remind. I think he might be.
No, he's not. He's a recovered drug addict,
Okay,
but
so
he's still
once a drug addict, always a drug addict.
no.
You need them to be continuing down their drug path. I need you to be ruining your life to be this
For
comedian
the comedy
I want.
he's doing.
Yeah.
I feel like he needs to be on drugs.
Interesting.
Yeah. And otherwise, the fact that he's sober doing this, I'm like, you're a funny guy, but now write jokes. You know what I'm saying? If you're fucked up, if you're all fucked up, I'm cool with you doing
But if
this.
it's a shtick, like, I don't.
Yeah,
his
I can only,
shtick is that he's a drug addict. It's weird.
Well, that's the
man.
shtick.
No,
I
don't
can only
like
sort
it.
of see him once
I'm sorry.
Okay.
because it's sort of he does the same things. But the first time you see him, I think is just what the hell was that? And if he comes in the next year and did something different, all those videos are very similar.
I think Jeff Dye's point was just that he's doing something very different and that he liked that.
liked it
It
too.
wasn't just.
When I saw him. Jeff Dye goes to Joe, looks like you were having fun. Just sort of, what's the secret? And I said, maybe get your own club,
$250 million
have a huge
helps.
podcast, and you could be having fun too.
How long is this? Sorry, how long is this deal? 3 years? This new one?
I only know it's $250
What
million.
is the
so
new deal, anyways? He's on Spotify and he's on everything else.
I don't know.
What's the
well,
deal?
there's some article came out about how one of the things Spotify fucked up is making their podcast exclusive.
How? That's the whole deal. What are you paying for?
Yeah, otherwise he'd put it on Spotify anyways because
No,
it's a big.
But if someone on Apple listens to that podcast, they still get the Spotify ad. I believe is the thinking, and just more people, more eyeballs.
Okay, I'm super confused.
Listen,
I
I
don't care.
I'm with you from the all eyeballs. Like, maybe I'm not understanding how their advertising deal.
I
works
just
then.
don't understand how you're still in a deal with Spotify if you're everywhere. Like, what's
He
in it
sounds
for
like he's-
Spotify?
he's playing them.
He would be there anyways.
I think
no,
what
he'd
Kamar
leave.
Remember, Simon, I was saying last year, and you disagreed with me. I said I believe that they collect all the ad revenue. That Joe now just has like you have to do 3 or 4 a week, and we collect all the ad revenue. You're going to get a big lump sum of money up front.
That's
I disagree.
impossible.
It's not.
He's gotta get something.
We know that's not true. They talked about it on the fucking show. Joe said he gets them both.
I don't remember him saying that.
And he
Go back.
He always, like you said, was on YouTube.
Anyways, there's way more fucking interesting stuff to talk about in this episode.
If hemp is so good, why aren't we using it?
Well, we know why.
Why aren't we using it in Canada now?
Yeah.
Oh well, we're just so. I mean, it's already been. It's too late, I think. But you can buy hemp.
We're trying to
products.
save the planet.
No,
we're not.
It's very true.
But he was talking about
if we're
concrete, all these things,
If we're
like-
trying to keep trees, we should just
And
move to paper fucking hemp.
And it
products.
might be because it's federally illegal in the States.
Well, that's why in the States, but here,
I don't think hemp is federally illegal in the States.
I think certain states you're allowed to
Like
use
all
hemp
this,
for
all the
stuff.
CBD that's legal in the States, Kamar, is derived from
From hemp,
CBD.
yeah.
From
From
hemp.
hemp,
Sorry, yeah.
That's true.
It has to have less than. It's like 0.03% THC. If you can grow hemp with less than that, it's legal, and that's where they make all the CBD. from.
Joe laments that just this silly law. Well, we don't have that silly law, and I don't know why. Because I remember some brothers, some entrepreneurial brothers, were pushing that down my throat like 15 years ago.
Pushing what down your
That
throat?
they're going to be millionaires because they're going to start making couches
Out of hemp?
And instead of using wood as the back to the couch, on the frame, they were going to use hemp, and it was
I mean, it's theoretically it's a good idea.
yeah, and it still hasn't come to fruition. I don't know. If someone could tell me hemp supposedly this miracle thing grows twice as fast, it just seems like a no brainer.
I mean, you bring up a good point. Like IKEA, for example, they use that garbage particle board. If hemp is just as expensive, but like would actually make their shit last, although maybe that's part of their business plan.
Yeah.
They're like, we only want the kafoof to last for a year,
Yeah, the
and then we need you to
kafoof,
buy another one.
Yeah.
It's so weird. Well, I guess this is. I'm not really aware of all the laws, but how you can be in one state where it's legal and drive through to the other side where it's legal. But if you're in the illegal state, you're in trouble. There should be some sort of, you get an amnesty if you're just passing through.
What I find weird is like the Vince McMahon case, for example. Like you can do all sorts of weird stuff in one state, but the second you drive that, like the sex trafficking thing, it's because he went over state lines with her that it's sex trafficking.
Yeah, but he was doing some fucked up shit with her.
Dude, he shit on her head
Wow.
while she was having a threesome with him, and he made her keep like he's a deprived
Yeah,
human being.
he's a horrible person.
If even a quarter of the stuff in there is true,
Is true.
and it has to be because this is not the first person,
He
right?
took a dump on her head and then made her finish giving him a blowjob.
Giving
with-
his massage therapist.
Everything sounds so horrible,
Wow,
and
that's
like
fucking crazy.
he didn't pay her enough.
What is enough to get
$10 million.
shit on your
He gave me
head?
$10 million.
Okay, yeah, I guess, yeah, sure. What did Dave Chappelle say? He's like, it's some piss. It's nothing a hot shower can't wash off.
It's,
Remember
state
we were
laws.
talking about Cat Williams and the saying that everybody wore a dress?
Yeah. Well, Terrence Howard came out this week and was like, Cat Williams is 100% right.
Yeah, and it's look at The Rock wore a dress and then he became super famous.
Well, I
in
wonder
the
if-
Tooth Fairy movie there.
Okay, again, I will go back. If you really wanted to, I guarantee you could go and look at white actors wearing dresses as well.
Oh, no,
I
but
don't
it
think
might be
it's-
the same thing.
I don't think it's just
it
a
might
race
be the same thing.
I'm being legitimate. I don't think it's a
I wonder
race
if there's
thing.
an episode in News Radio where Joe wears a dress.
There isn't.
Oh, you checked?
Well, I've watched the show.
He doesn't have
I
the
don't
legs for
remember
it.
Was
where
Andy
he
Dick who
dressed.
wore the dress?
I don't even know if Andy Dick ever wore a dress.
Comedy and magic go hand in hand, and then magic just fell by the wayside. Chris Angel was just on.
Magic was huge for a
TiVo.
while there in the like early 2000s. Those street magicians, and it was big in the 80s when
David
what's his name?
Copperfield.
Yeah, made the
Walk through the wall.
he made the Statue of Liberty disappear,
It-
which is so stupid to me because we're watching on TV, right? Like
Yeah,
they can make
CGI.
anything
Yeah, I know, yeah.
disappear.
They just pan to the right.
They just put up a fucking little cloth right in front.
dumb as
It's
shit.
But
perspective.
we were that easily entertained.
I never thought David Copperfield was very cool at all, but when they started doing that street magician stuff, like just the card shit fucking boggles my mind, man.
Harry Houdini was killed by a Canadian, or
A McGill student.
what
Yeah.
happened to him? And if you read the story, this guy sounds like an asshole.
Well, Harry Houdini used to let people, that was his thing. He used to let people punch him in the stomach to show how strong he was. And this guy obviously had a really, so he was like Francis Ngannou or something and fucking hit him right in the.
Well,
Some
xaphoid.
Canadian lumberjack
His
from
name
Quebec.
was his name was Jay Whitehead, and apparently he hit him repeatedly.
He hit him in the xaphoid Bibelbrox and just fucking.
He really went to town on him, like, and Houdini wasn't asking him. He was sort of like, "Hey, I heard you can take a punch," like, and he went to try to kill
The
him.
ultimate heckler.
Yeah, it's a piece of shit. But a Canadian Heritage moment. All
That would be a great Canadian heritage moment.
Yeah.
how long till the rules go out the window? They were talking about if
You'd have to be
power
more
goes
specific.
out. Power goes out. Stop communicating.
Well, that's it.
I don't think it'll take long at all.
Like the police just go grab a car, empty
Well,
out everything in the police station. And
Canadians
get their
are a
family.
little more orderly as a nation, I find, in the States. Like
I disagree. Once the shit hits the fan, it doesn't.
I
What you're
just
talking
thi-
about is
I just think it'll happen quicker in some of the states.
Because the worst thing is you think you're somewhat prepared. You have your stuff. You know where you're going, and you get out of the driveway, and it's just a sea of cars, and you realize that that's the only way you can get to where you thought you'd get to be safe to buy yourself some time. Scary stuff. You have to have a helicopter or access to fly.
yeah, we're all ill prepared. It's
We're all
fine.
not prepared.
Most of us aren't rich enough to be prepared.
He threw some
well,
shade.
most of us have no reason because, like, we've never had that existential threat that, you know, like if you live in Israel or if you live in some place that has wars going on, you understand.
Quebec
like,
hasn't ever
it's
launched an
not-
attack on
It's
us.
a threat. You
That'd be
get it.
wild, eh?
We've never had. Yeah, exactly.
And we'd still go through enemy lines to get to our cottages. He threw some shade on. He was like, I hate Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Oh, thank God. I agree.
He's a breath of
And
fresh
even
air.
Joe fucking started talking some trash.
Well,
about
no,
him. That was great.
Joe was like, put a pin in that. And Neil deGrasse Tyson sort of suffers the same thing as Trump.
Go on.
Just the annoying, I don't like how you say what you're saying, but maybe you're saying some interesting things, except for that one thing. As a man of science, he criticized him because he got into trans issues.
Well, you know what? Joe should open his ears because Neil deGrasse Tyson has been an asshole for like the past, well, his whole life, really. But at one point, yeah, he was giving information and then he just started giving his opinion. And then that's where shit went wildly off the rails.
Yeah, like stay in your lane.
And I also don't like his whole attitude of who cares. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, but we knew. Listen,
some people care about science.
we've been doing this show for 5 years. We said it 5 years ago. This guy was a total asshole. Carl Sagan was the perfect conduit for the cosmos thing. He was very calm, collected. Like Carl Sagan was the perfect guy for that.
And
And
he
then
picked up the torch and just
fucked it
exploited
so hard. Yeah,
like
it's just
South Park did to Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Well,
Like,
sorry, go
No,
on.
I was just gonna say, like Carl Sagan, it seemed like he wasn't in it for any sort of like applause or praise or fame, and it seems like Neil deGrasse Tyson is a fame whore.
Yeah, exactly. He would fucking.
He loves it.
Yeah, 100%.
So that brings you around. It's weird. Jeff Dye mentioned like a basketball player is way on a higher of a pedestal than some scientist that cured something or strange the way we choose idols. But maybe that's part of the programming, like what's her name said, from the media powers chooses what.
And maybe it just it comes down to salaries, right? Like basketball players make so much money, and
rock
scientists
stars.
make
It's
nothing.
well,
Yeah.
I don't know where I was going to tie that in, but that's really what has to happen. We have to get rid of money because it won't matter in Mars, or it can't matter in Mars.
Why?
You think eventually Mars will be set up that you have credits to buy stuff?
Our society functions totally on the fact that there's money.
Yeah, we built an economy. We can't.
And
Like, you
with
think we're gonna just tear it down?
No, but
because we go to a different
this
planet.
Be the third, fourth. You know the five.
Yeah, the
steps.
fives. Yeah.
There has to be some time of absolute abundance where money just is. This is ridiculous. I don't even need money. I just make money like.
Kamar, listen, if we got to the point where like an iRobot type deal where we had robots that could do everything, every single job, we won't though. Like if you're the guy that creates the robot that can do all the jobs, you want to get rich off that, right? You're going to want to sell that robot.
Right now, in our mindset, yes, you would assume that, but
If there was like a shift in the way we do business,
I actually thought this was more apropos for the Moshe Kasher I started talking about. But it's obvious that money is just this weird sort of, we're in the money stage whenever it was invented, from barter to this to out the other side.
I don't disagree with you. I think money is the thing that pushed us to where we are though.
But money is the thing that lifts people up and oppresses other people. It's the elephant in the room of why we can't go
Like
forward. The wars. Every war is about money.
I wonder if that's true though, that there would be no progress without money. Like nobody would want to make new things if you couldn't get rich from them. I
Yeah.
don't know if that's necessarily true.
I think it is.
Because that's just what we're programmed to think. Lie to your kid about Santa Claus. Tell him we landed on the moon.
I mean,
No.
You
I'm
would
just-
build a lot less useless shit. That's
you need
for
money
sure.
to be secure and happy.
But like, animals don't fucking progress because they're getting paid to do it. They progress because it makes their life better.
But they don't really progress. Like what in what way does an animal progress? Like they're all just living. They don't really like, it's not like the life of the tiger has gotten better over the last 200 years because of things the tiger is doing, right?
Well, I mean,
Like for us, everything's gotten easier because of all the technological advances.
yeah, I know.
Which
So,
takes
but
money.
why would we not want our lives to be better without money? Like,
I'm not saying we
you
don't
could
want
just
it.
build
It
good
might take
things
a million
because it makes
years,
our
but
lives
money will
better.
have to go away.
And
Kamar-
if we always lived in a world where money wasn't an issue, meaning everybody was rich and taken care of, we would still want to like make better shit for ourselves.
Kamar, there is, first of all, we have enough. Like if the top 1% gave up 10% of their wealth, and I know it's not a realistic thing. A lot of wealth is held in stock. Like when they say Elon Musk is the richest man in the world, doesn't mean he has $100 billion in liquid funds. He has a shitload of stock. But my point is, if all the top 1% give up 10% of their wealth, then the rest of us, like the poorest people, don't have to worry then. Because they're all taken care of. They can live, most people live off $1 a day.
Well, they were just saying in Bangladesh, I don't know if you saw this story, but the Loblaws has a clothing line called Joe Fresh.
Yeah.
And it's cheap. And this person that makes that clothes makes like 75 cents a day.
Yeah.
If we all had universal basic income, okay, everybody was taken care of. Rent paid, extra spending money, you're good. Okay. You would still have people making art,
Yeah.
right?
More.
There would still be science minded driven people out there, and in their free time they would still do things to satisfy their, like, that's what we want to do. It's not, human beings want to make things, and I don't think that has anything to do with money. That was ingrained in us long before money was even a thing.
Okay, but you're going to make art. But even then, like, you make art right now for nothing. Like, there's no, like, you're never going to show it to anyone. You're never going to sell it. You do it just because you love it. I get that.
I don't, but yeah, somebody could.
Sure, but a lot of people that do make art would like to sell it at one point, correct?
Yeah, and maybe you could still sell it, right? Like, people have, if you were being
what do you
taken
sell it
care
for?
of.
Yeah. What do you sell it for?
Who knows? I don't know.
just put it out there
or
'cause
maybe
you
you
don't need
trade
anything
it
for
for
it.
things. Who fucking knows? I don't know.
But you
I
can't
still
trade it
think-
for things because no one's buying anything. Your whole thing is we've eliminated money.
Or money is out there, but everybody just has a lot of money.
Because even like universal basic income, what you were talking about, like
Yeah.
the problem with that is, so your rent is taken care of. You said that, right?
Yeah.
So in like,
You don't have to pay rent. You don't have to pay any bills.
But you
at
do
all.
still have to
There
pay
are no
rent.
taxes.
but
There's no
hold on.
nothing.
So let's back that up. How is there, like, I'm a landlord. I own a building. Okay. How am I getting paid for all of the apartments?
There's no more owning buildings. We all give in to the common goal of making the country great.
So communism.
Yeah, we're going there.
Well, that didn't work.
No, I don't know. I mean,
That was quick.
But
and did it
We'll be right
not
back.
work, or was it never given a chance to work? Because everywhere where they tried, America just went in and warred them.
well, part of the reason it doesn't work is people at the top are still corrupt, still want money. But this isn't possible. But to be interstellar, there can't be money. There can't be.
But again, without free labor, what you're talking about is impossible. Like, even right now, the world, all the luxuries we live in are because of free and cheap labor. You just spoke about it. Joe Fresh. The reason you go into Loblaws and buy an affordable shirt is because someone in another country is working for 75 cents a day.
For a company that's gouging you as when you go get your eggs and your milk as
I
well.
get it.
It's
but
ridiculous.
I understand, but that's fucking capitalism and that's business. Is the whole idea is sell it for as much as you can and make it for as little as you can.
An evolved society will have no money.
Yeah, and Kamar, again, I'm agreeing with you. I'm just saying that until we have robots doing absolutely every job,
And AI. I couldn't agree with you more. It is crazy, the promotion of gambling.
Yeah, it's insane.
It's insane, the promotion of
it's not
gambling.
that crazy. What's crazy about it?
You should be able to, if you are a gambler and
Yeah.
you want to get into gambling, you should be able to seek out all these sites and figure out what's best for you.
We went from nothing to everything in like the blink of an eye, you know? They never advertised gambling. Now all of a
Well, they
sudden,
did. Proline had ads for years.
Yes, they did.
The only
But
show
you
in
still
town
had to go down to the store, fill out your card. There were pro-line ads.
now
You see what I'm saying? But
all
you just hear me
the-
out. Because there was no competition, there was only one player in town, and the
Yeah.
government funded it, so they weren't going to dump a ton of advertising dollars
Yeah,
into
right,
it,
yeah.
right? So now all these companies are vying for your money.
Yeah, and now they pay for all these advertising spots, and then they pay for like TSN. Like I told you that the other day, you know, you're watching Sportsnet, and all of a sudden they're just like talking about a player,
player props. They'll be like, this
They're
player
talking about a
8.5
player on the
assists.
ice in a normal conversation, and then go like, "Oh, and by the way, you can get him at 2.5 fucking points."
And I would submit that that's an acceptable place for that.
During the game, you say is acceptable, but you don't want an ad during.
Well, just obviously advertising is for kids. So if you're a kid and you like hockey, then you're gonna watch that. I think gambling websites should be all over boxing rings and all the fighting and stuff. But just the amount of ads that are out there for MGM Grand, Jamie Foxx is always Bet365, all the guys.
I mean, you're
It's
forgetting
true.
how much.
harmful things like that should end up like tobacco and not be able to be advertised, or it should have very specific ways that.
And I
able
do
to
it. I do it.
advertise.
It's just like
I'm fine with what Simon's saying. If you want to regulate the advertising
Yeah.
on it, like tobacco or
Yeah.
alcohol, but keep in mind, alcohol is bar none the worst thing for our society.
Yeah, well, we're so backwards. With,
But my point is like as long as alcohol is being readily advertised, which it is, and the reason it is readily advertised is because they make so much fucking money.
no,
Again,
but there are still rules for alcohol. Like you can't have a famous person
sure.
drinking your beer
Sure.
to try and promote it, or a sports person.
Like I said, I'm
there are
fine.
still
I'm
rules
fine with
here
them
for that.
implementing some rules. I don't think it'll make that big a difference.
and
It's like cigarettes.
Why hasn't a scientist gotten drunk, hungover, and said, "I can do this better"?
Do
Just
what better?
A perfect alcohol bill.
Oh,
You
yeah.
just take a little pill. You have 4 beers, and you wake up in the morning.
I told you, dude, the pill, 3 drinks. If you could have a pill called 3 drinks,
Yeah.
everyone would take it.
Yeah, and it had no.
I would
side
take it
effects.
every day.
Yeah, because that just
Because 3 drinks me
that
is the best me
that
possible.
groovy
Yeah.
feel. Snooker. Did you guys ever play snooker? I thought they were going to bring
very
up.
hard.
It was
That's
Stephen
hard.
Hendry was.
Don't get caught.
big.
Don't get caught up on the minutia, because there's some juicy shit coming, and we're gonna run out of time.
But yes, Kamar, snooker is very difficult. The table is fucking massive. The holes are incredibly small.
Did you ever
The
play?
balls are small.
And in general, if you don't know how to play, it's ridiculous. Like,
Did you ever
what am
play
I
a
doing
game
here?
where there's a pool table and there's a bunch of pegs in the middle of it?
Yeah, what the
Bumper
fuck's it-
pool.
Yeah,
It's a very small table.
yeah,
Yeah,
It
that-
looks like this.
It's really fun.
That went the way of the
It looks
dodo
like
right
this,
now.
like an octagon, right?
And you just try
Yeah.
to
Yeah,
smash.
it's really fun. We used to play it all the time in high school.
Yeah. I want to get I was thinking about getting I can't get a pool table. Maybe I don't know.
So the meat and
Ping
potatoes
pong table.
Maybe.
Do you know how to play ping pong?
Yeah, I'm terrible.
know how to play ping pong.
Some people are good at ping pong. Some people are not good at
Well,
ping
you're
pong.
good at ping pong. Everyone knows how to play ping pong.
Are you good at
No,
ping pong?
I'm not. No.
I am.
But if I had a table, I
No,
would be.
you're not.
I do that stuff, man.
You never know. Kamar spends a
I
lot of
hold,
time
I
at the
hold
cottage.
the
I bet
racket
he.
weird ways.
I bet he. Yeah, he's a cottage guy. I guarantee you he's played a lot of ping pong.
I'd trounce him.
Dude, you
Camp-
played tennis. You were a
Camp,
Jew
military
tennis
school,
player.
rehab. I've been playing.
Rehab.
Trounce him.
I've been playing ping pong. Jeff Dye is a huge proponent of Bigfoot. He comes to the Seattle area where most of the sightings are, and
I love how Joe, this is my favorite, that the Floriensis, he's like, yeah, that could possibly be right. There could possibly be little tiny men living in Indonesia, but giant furry guys in North America, unacceptable.
Well, no, he did say. Yeah, he said extinct at least.
and he wants it to be true.
Does that not give you some he's like, I think it did exist. I just don't think it's walking around right now. That's
mean,
unacceptable to you, right? It has to for you. It's like he's alive now on this earth or
Listen.
nothing.
This is the way I look at it, okay?
Sure.
For sure, there are people out there who lie about things. The same way there are people who are out there who lie about seeing UFOs. That is 100% true. I listen to a podcast, okay? There are, let's just make up a number, 2,000 episodes. If 100 of those episodes are real, there is something out there, not this many people can be lying. It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't have to be lying though. It could just be that they've
No, when you hear the stories, Matt, I get it, what Joe's saying. You could see a bear through the trees and make something up in your head. When you hear these stories, these people are either immaculate liars or they're seeing what they saw. There's no, I saw some fur through the trees. That's not the stories that are being, for sure there are those stories.
Yeah.
I'm saying on this specific podcast, nobody is telling that story. They're telling stories of seeing this thing where there's no doubt of what it could be,
Do you think you could pinpoint when you found out about Bigfoot? Because there's got to be a day where you didn't know what Bigfoot was.
I know
and-
exactly when I found out about Bigfoot. I had this book when I was growing up, and it was full of like Loch Ness Monster, Bigfoot, had all these different, they're aliens.
See, it's all coming together now. It could have been anything for him. It could have been the Bermuda Triangle.
That was also in it.
See, that's what I'm saying. Because when we grew up, the Bermuda Triangle was a problem. Quicksand, another thing that I thought I would encounter throughout my life.
Well, not you. Quicksand is in like the fucking Amazon jungle.
Yeah, and when I grew up, it was in every television show, and you felt like you would encounter quicksand at one point in your life. Have you ever in your life encountered quicksand?
No, but I watch Naked and Afraid.
Yeah.
And I've seen quite a few people get stuck in quicksand.
Okay. And did they end up neck deep and almost die?
No.
Okay.
But I could see how it could be a problem if you're on your own in the jungle. If you have like a hurt leg or something and you end up in the, you can't push off, you can't get any grip. Next thing you know, there's like an anaconda coming your way or a crocodile. Who knows?
But it's weird though. So let me ask you, because the Loch Ness Monster, you clearly don't believe in that.
Well, here's the thing about the Loch Ness Monster. Obviously, we know that famous picture is a fraud. Like that was proven.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not positive. I think that came out so they could badmouth it the same way they do with the guys with the crop circles. They have been talking.
Big Loch Ness was trying to hide, was trying to suppress
about the Loch Ness Monster
Mm-hmm.
for years, going back in history, long before that picture was ever taken. Like Ogopogo, that's we have our own.
Yeah.
They've been seeing that forever. You know what I mean? Like I'm just the native tribes talked about it. Like these things, we're just looking at modern incarnations of them now, but they've been talked about in one form or another. Like Bigfoot goes back so far, dude.
I get it, but that's Joe is saying he believes that it probably existed and then has probably.
Yeah, listen, I'm with Joe. It did exist in the olden times. We're not saying there's like a million of them out there, but some population
but you refuse to say what percentage.
Some population could still exist.
So what percentage of you thinks that Bigfoot could be extinct? 0, 10, 20?
Bigfoot is extinct?
Yes.
I think
what
there's
percentage?
0% chance.
Okay, so that's all I wanted to get.
I mean,
0%.
No. I have to give it some chance. 1%, 2%, maybe.
Not even 5.
It's not a big percent. No, because
You don't think there's a 5% chance
unless it went in
that a thing that has never been recorded,
unless it went extinct in the last like 10 years, then no, I don't.
It could be, though, the abominable snowman is a polar bear, the Sasquatch is a bonobo, and Bigfoot is a bear. Even though they have, I always thought different names
Where
means more
you think
credibility.
Sasquatch lives in the fucking African jungle?
I don't know.
No, it doesn't. It's North America.
Disgust, he said. Sasquatch and Bigfoot are different?
No, they're the same thing. They're just different names for the same thing. But there are Bigfoot all over. There's the Australian Yowie. There's the Russian, whatever the fuck it's called. There's an African one. There's a, like, they're across the world.
Gorilla would be the African one.
I think there are undiscovered primates out there that are smarter than the animals that we just catch on camera and put in zoos, you know?
Would you kill the Bigfoot if you saw it? If you had
So
a
do you
gun?
think?
Well,
hold
that's
on.
a very tough question. Go ahead.
No, this is important. No,
Oh.
this is more important.
There are two trains of thought here. One would be, no, of course you would never shoot the Sasquatch. It's so human. It would be like shooting a human.
You wouldn't shoot a human?
Not unless he was like attacking me to kill me.
Okay, so that's yeah.
If it was attacking me to kill
Or
me.
it's a prize human, dead or alive. $1 million. No,
Anyway.
answer the question, because that matters too. Because you could get.
prize human. Why are we killing humans for $1 million?
The point is, if you killed Bigfoot, you might have someone guaranteed some rich fucking asshole would give you like
Mm-hmm.
millions of dollars. Joe, you could go to Joe with Bigfoot's body and be like, "We're gonna get this thing fucking taxidermied, $5 million."
There are Bigfoot hunters out there, I'm
Yep.
sure, who want to just like kill Bigfoot because he's the, they want to kill things.
Also, it's sweet to have a made up job that doesn't exist.
Lots of people out there believe, and not hunting type people, but Bigfoot people, that they need to kill the Bigfoot in order to ever prove the Bigfoot's existence. Because pictures will not do, videos will not
Oh
do.
no, videos will do because everyone has a 4K camera in their pocket. So a 4K high res video of Bigfoot
We
will
have
do. I think
a
Kamar would
video,
take it.
and it still won't do. Oh, by the way, my brother-in-law listens to this podcast. Shout out to Stu.
Yeah. Is
He
this the corrections officer?
no, this is a different one. He listened to all 4 episodes or all 5 episodes of the Patterson Gimlin thing that I told you to listen to.
He would kill Bigfoot?
He can come and talk about this, but you can't say shit. Anyways, yeah, nobody believes in the Patterson Bigfoot video, and we have video that was taken in 1964 or
I
whatever.
just
the
said
fuck it was.
4K.
You won't believe it. We'll think it's a deep fake. Like, we would not believe it if we said, if I might, but you guys, skeptics, would not believe it. You'd say this is a fake. Like, the only way to prove it would be to bring in the body. And maybe that's true. Maybe that is true.
There are 2 trains of thoughts. What train are you on?
Just answer the fucking question. Would you kill the Bigfoot or not? The
I mean,
answer's
I
no,
don't
right?
think I would, but I almost hope that somebody does one day so that we can shove it down this fuck's throat. You know what I mean?
I got news for you, pal.
that's-
I don't fucking care.
You
if
would.
tomorrow,
You would.
Nope.
Really?
Yeah, what do I give a shit?
You don't care that there's okay. First of all, you would have to care because sometimes you go into the woods. Now you had something else to be worried about. You know what I'm saying?
Not worried.
Dude, if Bigfoot existed, we knew 100% that there were giant apes, 10 feet tall, 2 tons out in the fucking woods that could possibly kill you. You wouldn't be worried about it.
Bears exist. What can you do?
And bears are stupid. Bigfoots are obviously like.
Did you see how
super
quietly,
smart.
dude? That
Well,
was great.
if-
He goes, "Bears exist." What can you do?
The Bigfoot you speak of wouldn't kill you because, like, your respect for its humanoid, it would have respect for you.
I mean, maybe. Who knows what
It's just-
Bigfoot
it could
is
just
like?
be
I don't know.
savage.
There are definitely
he
some.
sees it turns around and just got like predator face, and it is not happy.
I've heard many a stories.
Mm-hmm.
Many a stories. Some of them, the Bigfoot seems really nice. Sometimes the Bigfoot's a real fucking dick. You know what I mean? Like
Sometimes Harry and the Hendersons. Sometimes
sometimes
murderous, ravenous
Boggy
beast.
Creek. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's you'll never know.
So every day you pray someone kills Bigfoot.
But I really do find it funny that Joe is like just willing to accept this hobbit creature still possibly being alive after all these years, but not the.
Well, what's weird
the
to me is that
opposite.
Joe, like you, is just the other way, where he's like 1% chance Bigfoot exists, 99% chance he doesn't. It's the same thing. You guys, you're just like,
Well, except one of us is right and one of us is wrong.
sure. But what I'm saying is, like, if Joe was like 25% chance Bigfoot exists, would that make you a little happier?
Well, I mean, it would make me a little happier.
Well, it would make
like-
him happier if you were like 25% chance Bigfoot doesn't exist.
I know, but it's not possible that it doesn't exist. Like
It
we have
is.
all
Everything is
this
possible.
evidence.
No, we don't have all this
yeah,
evidence.
We do.
No,
have
we don't.
A lot of evidence.
What, 3,000 podcasts? That's your evidence?
No, we have footprints. We have videos. We have all sorts of things, man. Like really, seriously, all sorts of things. When they did a DNA thing one time, like
Okay, what does
Maybe
that mean?
maybe multiple
They did
times.
a DNA thing one time. Do you want to expand on that terrible fucking point?
They got DNA evidence.
Okay.
They found out that it was non-human. It was like what?
I'm waiting. I'm just.
Well,
I'm-
again, I don't know all the information off by heart.
No,
I
you don't know
just
any of the information.
It's like, you know what? I would look. We can put this all to rest, okay? Because if we believe the Patterson Gimlin video, then there are Bigfoot out there. You don't believe the Patterson Gimlin footage.
I don't
But you
care.
haven't done the
What
due
bothers me,
diligence that
again,
is necessary to have this conversation.
No, again, what bothers me is that you can't sit here and say 25% chance, which isn't huge. It's a 1 in 4 shot that there is no existence of Bigfoot.
Well, here's my aliens. Let's just take aliens for a second, okay?
No, it's way different.
No, just hold on.
Okay.
I don't know what aliens are.
Okay.
I don't know if they're from outer space. I don't know if they're interdimensional. I don't know if they live here and we're the fucking alien. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I know that there's something else out there. People are seeing something. It's been reported over time. That's a fact. There's a 0% chance that I'm giving it the same weight. You know what I mean?
No,
I'm
but
not-
there's a huge difference. Space is infinite, and we haven't explored any of it.
Okay, can I just say something, Matt?
Sure.
Hairy thing in the woods, okay?
Yeah.
Maybe it's interdimensional. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know how it works.
Mm-hmm.
But we know it's out there.
No, we don't know it's out there.
Well, dude, come on. Like, how much more fucking evidence do we need? You know?
Don't have evidence yourself.
Well, I don't have the evidence.
Yeah, you're.
I've
It's all
never-
hearsay what
I've
you're going
never
off of.
seen
It
one,
doesn't
but-
hold up in court. None of it.
You know what, dude? If I could put together a thing of evidence,
dossier?
for
Yeah, I know you would,
That
yeah.
would change your mind
Yeah.
in a second. You know.
The foot dossier.
Well, some of their footprints
I
are
don't think that
very
exists.
are very convincing.
I don't know if you've noticed, but Kamar checked out about 5 minutes ago. So.
No, I'm just trying to
Oh no, I saw him. He was thinking about what color he was going to paint his
Yeah.
nails.
What
next
color are you
week.
going with next week?
like a black with the red sparkle.
So this is it. This is you now.
Okay, move on. What's next?
You know what? He's going to be buried too in his casket, like hands like this,
It may have been
with a
interesting.
sin face.
It may have been interesting if Joe knew anything about football to inquire about his relationship with Terry Bradshaw.
would have been nice
which
to
you
know.
mentioned, but we do not know.
Would have been nice
I
to
tried to
Again,
research
I'm
Jeff Dye's
still,
girlfriend. Like, what am I
I'm
doing?
still not convinced. It's not just some guy named Terry Bradshaw. It's not that crazy a name, right?
I think
And
he
the
mentioned
fact that
Super
we
Bowl
didn't
ring.
expand on
Did he
it.
mention Super Bowl
I think he
ring?
mentioned Super Bowl
yeah,
ring, maybe.
I thought he might have too. But I just, again, he made no big point of being like the Terry Bradshaw. And like you said, Joe obviously has no idea who the fuck Terry Bradshaw is. He doesn't know what the Immaculate Pass. He knows none of this.
Sometimes when I watch Terry Bradshaw, I wonder if Terry knows who Terry Bradshaw is.
I got to be honest,
He's
actually,
on the end.
all of those guys are so old now.
getting
It's
old.
really tough. Like,
But I think it's going to be hard
Gronk is, like,
to
half
transition
retarded.
to younger guys.
well, because Gronk, I think you're going to go, yeah.
Hopefully, Tom Brady brings some sensibility. Do you go through the airport scanner? This question isn't
Yeah, I
for
do.
Simon.
Keep going.
You have no problem with it. You talked about the airport scanner. Probably bad for you. Another reason why you're going to live longer than the rest of us.
Perfect.
But you don't know till you know.
What else you got there?
That's it.
They only talked about Bigfoot. That was the only.
They talked a lot about comedy and comics and trans issue. I mean, he's a Trump guy, obviously. If I urge anyone, there's a roast before the election. There was this dinner they had in this Catholic, run by the Catholic Church, and it's the guests are Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump, and they have to roast each other, and it is hilarious because they mentioned that Donald Trump was just annoying before he became president. He was never a threat to the world as we know it. Mm-hmm. Oh, hypersonic missiles, as if they're not using crazier shit.
What's crazier than a hypersonic missile?
I know, but all just to posture, right?
What do you mean?
Well, no one's ever used one of these missiles, or maybe
Oh,
maybe
the
they
US
maybe
definitely
they are
uses
using
them. What are you,
to bomb
fucking
the shit out of
nuts?
Yemen right now? I don't know. Oh, they also talk about, is it now stated fact that they knew about weapons of mass destruction and just used it to start a war, or they actually thought
Oh no, they knew they weren't there.
that? Well, that's what I feel, but for the record,
No,
of
I
history,
think they knew they weren't there.
and just used it.
I think there were no weapons of mass destruction.
so that there should
that
be
was the false flag that got them into
there should
a
be some
war with
repercussions for
Saddam.
that. Anyone who's still alive.
Yeah, but there's never repercussions.
Oh no, there are not.
It's so funny, we talk about serial killers. It's like this guy killed 11 people in Cincinnati, and it's like, all right, we'll give him 450 years. Someone makes a decision that kills 22,000 innocent people abroad, and it's like, well, I'm living in Florida in a fucking 22,000 square
Yeah,
foot
but
mansion.
that's different. Like when you take on the job as president.
I'm not talking about that. That's different. What I'm saying is when you actively lie to start a war and then innocent people die, that's not, there's no difference to me at all.
It's all about money again.
I get it, Simon. What you're saying is if you have to make the tough choices and some people die, I
Yeah.
get that that's the chair you're in. I'm not saying that being president, you're not going to have to push a button where unfortunately innocent people are going to have to die. But I'm just saying when you make up a war, when you make up a conflict to go in for purely for profit.
I hear you. You would have to put a lot of people in jail.
But that's what we do. The reason we have prisons is it's punitive. It's to stop people from doing it in the future. And if you
but that our system, as we're going to learn in the next episode, only
Yes, is
increases
broken.
recidivism.
yes, recidivism.
You know what's crazy to think about?
Recidivism.
Do they talk about JFK in the next episode?
No.
To think that JFK, so when he put his foot down to not use, to not attack Cuba and all of that stuff, like at that moment in time, they were getting ready to, the military industrial complex was getting ready to like fight everybody. They were going to use nuclear bombs. That our whole landscape of the earth could very well have been like radically different if not for JFK.
You think physically blown up or just different?
They could have used nukes. They could have.
But Simon, they killed him.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but then why didn't they continue on with their plan after they killed him?
Well, they did. And ever since, they've been starting wars for no fucking reason.
No, I'm not disagreeing, but your whole idea was like scorched earth right away. Like their plan was to fucking, you were like, they could have vastly, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't know why it hasn't just returned to status quo, Matt. But that was like a fact that they were planning on nuking multiple places at the same time. It was like going to be an offensive.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying that
3 different countries at the same, or 4 different countries at the same time.
all I'm saying is that if that was their plan and then they killed the guy that was stopping them from initiating that plan.
I don't know why it never went forward, but that was what was going to happen.
Listen, if you're sitting here arguing that JFK's death or assassination was a turning point in history, I'm not going to argue with that.
No, just how one man, even if it wasn't Jeff, just that one person can change the whole like trajectory of the earth is pretty fucking crazy, man.
So that's it. That's it for Jeff Dye.
Yeah, I mean, it really all came down to Bigfoot, and you guys have zero interest in talking
What
about
I
it.
like
You know what,
about
Simon?
Jeff
You know
Dye
what?
is he's successful, and I would not recognize him walking down the street. Although he's been on Extreme Home Makeover, Guy Code, all these shows.
I've
Maybe
never
he's
seen him
more
before
popular.
in
never
my
seen him either.
life. Yeah.
I liked him. I like this. I like
Yeah,
this
I thought
guy.
he was fine.
And you know what, Simon? When he started talking about Bigfoot, I was happy for you.
Yeah.
I was like,
I was
Simon's
so
getting,
happy for
yeah, I was
you.
like, Simon's getting a little check mark this week. That's nice. I give it a 4.
There's a movie coming out, a Bigfoot movie by the guy who did the Facebook, you know, Facebook, the movie.
Yeah, Soderbergh.
No, the actor. What
Oh,
was-
Jesse Eisenberg.
yeah, Eisenberg,
He's great.
where he plays. It seemed weird though. It wasn't
Social
like,
Network?
yeah, Social Network, exactly.
Oh, that's
I don't
not
like
the movie,
Eisenberg.
though.
Not
You
a big
don't
fan
like
of
it because he's always the same guy.
No, I don't know. I don't know what it is. You know, sometimes you're just
He's
like,
very intense.
It's called Sasquatch Sunset. It's hold on a sec.
Of course it is.
Jesse Eisenberg,
yeah, we got that.
Sasquatch Sunset.
Yeah,
And it is, just hold on one sec.
Sasquatch Sunset.
It's at Sundance 2024.
Okay.
It's a dramedy about a Bigfoot family. Doesn't, hold on. Wild audiences with the Kamuko, the treasure hunter. You know Bigfoot, he or she is.
Oh my God, this is terrible.
Yeah, this is
Rate
great.
it. I gave it a 4.
I will give it a 3.75.
As you would. Kamar, what do you give it?
I give it 4. Join
Hey,
the
look
Patreon.
at that. Look at that. All right, we're going to take a break. We're going to pay a bill, and we will be right back. We're back. Thank you so much to BetterHelp.
Back in time.
There will be a link in the description. Go and check them out. Kamar, can we get a name and a
Just
number?
before we do that, just back to Bigfoot for 1 second. Me trying to convince you, like, I really feel like you have to listen to the accounts from people who claim to actually have seen Bigfoot. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to listen to be able to spot the lie.
Simon.
if that's the case.
Simon,
This is,
I give it a 10% chance, which is 9% more than
that's
you give.
not enough. This is what
No. You can't say that giving it a 1% chance. You're a piece of shit.
Our next Patreon thing
Yeah.
should be I get to play you the best videos they have of Bigfoot out there, and we'll watch them together.
I love it.
Yeah.
I hate it. You don't
Yeah,
love that.
That
do,
sounds
I
great.
do.
That really does sound
But
great.
I do it for Simon.
It's not for me, it's for you.
No, it's not for us. I assure you.
Yes.
No.
At least, look, there's like probably 12 decent videos out there. We just watch them. It'll take half hour.
Perfect. Join the Patreon, the only way to truly support the podcast.
You know, first of all, that, you know what? Let's move on. Go ahead. Name
Join
and a
the
number.
Patreon. 296, Josh Dubin and Sheldon Johnson.
I'm just going to take a nap, and you guys wake me up when this synopsis.
I don't know how
is
you don't
over.
like. I don't know how you don't like these. These are the best
The
ones.
twist is that we should have done the other order, but this I have the lease on because I think you have to listen to this podcast.
You have to
It's
listen.
not about us. He explains this or something. It's such a. I was concerned at the very beginning when they were talking about him, and he's just sitting there. I was like, he better not speak for him this whole time. But
No,
he did
Josh
get-
is really. This is why Josh Dubin always gets a 5. He's really good at like deflecting any sort of praise. He really gives like the person he brought a good chance to talk. And Joe, this is the best use of his platform. If you want to sit there and be like, it's all about making money, and like we've had that conversation, this is the best use of his platform. 100%.
Because as Josh pointed out, he was guilty of a crime. Maybe he was punished overtly, and we can get into why that happened. But
Yeah, listen,
the other side perspective, last guy was just wrong. They framed him, and he was incarcerated.
but there were
No,
just
but
so,
like, what was his crime? It wasn't worthy of.
no, he
fucking-
gun butted the guy. He was robbing his own money back. He said the guy owed him coke money. He owed him like 17 grand or whatever. And he saw the guy with all his jewelry and his girlfriend. So he gun butted the guy and took all the jewelry. And then he got 50 years for that because it was his second offense.
But he
So-
only spent 24 years, 5 months.
So like Kamar said, he was guilty, but I think we could all agree that a couple years in prison for that probably would have.
Well, especially the biggest thing I got out of this is crime will always exist.
Yeah. I mean, unless we get to that utopian fucking society you were talking
No
about
money.
earlier.
But our prisons are not working the way, as he said, he just learned how to be a criminal. And he hear from anyone who ever went in, they're like, yeah, I figured this guy, I met this guy. It's a,
What was the line from Blow? He's like, I went in with a bachelor's in marijuana and I left with a doctorate in cocaine.
so yeah, all these guys, they should all be doing school
in prison,
in prison.
mandatory.
Yeah, I'd say. I
No,
mean,
I agree. I think it's a good
for
idea.
something to do and just be better.
if it
because-
really is rehabilitation.
Because I mean, ultimately, the word I can't pronounce is recidivism. But you know what I'm trying to say.
You got it. Recidivism.
If that were to lower, then maybe we'd have less crime and less prisons. And it would be unfortunate if it is the budgets that have to have so many prisoners
I mean, I think we know that that's absolutely the case.
in their system. I'm not sure how our corrections work.
Well, I don't think our correction system is great either.
Obviously not. And again, probably has some of the systemic issues that Sheldon talked about. He started at 13, right around the time the CIA crack, which is what changes the free-flowing, fun time of cocaine society, as it were.
Yeah. Wow.
It accelerated it. I think I was like 8 or 9 the first time I heard about it, but just was this thing that I'm sure is just as bad, but was on the news every night.
Crack babies.
The gang banging, the crack babies, all this stuff.
The war against drugs.
Yes, it was a war against drugs, I suppose. So I was, yeah.
Well, that's why you saw it on the news so much, because that was what they were pushing at that point. Right?
And it was this crack is bad, but
It's just so weird to think about that the news is out there being like, there's a war on drugs, and the CIA is like, we're
Yes,
bringing them
there
in.
is.
Yeah, and they're showing on TV every night, like the authorities fighting the bad guys, and
arresting
meanwhile,
people.
those same people are bringing the drugs in. Like, it's so fucking crooked.
so it ends up being the same thing as they knew there was no weapons of mass destruction. Well, that happened after, but
Well, this is way worse than that, actually.
they're
This
all
is
bad.
like there were no weapons of mass destruction, and then you put in the weapons of mass destruction, you know?
well, no, they put in the weapons of mass destruction and that they put their armies in.
I guess
And
it's
how
the
everyone
same
dies.
thing, yeah.
It was weird how he said that he lied. Not weird, but you don't think it would be a good thing if someone told you they got out of jail, but where he was from, if you went to jail and got out scot-free, not scot-free, but unharmed with your shoes. That was something you
They think you're a rat.
aspire to be. No.
No, he was saying if you went to jail, it was like a badge of honor. It was also there was a lot of interesting points I'd never thought of when he was talking about. He was like, I think the black judges give black people harsher sentences because they don't want to seem weaker to their colleagues. I was like, fuck, I'd never.
And they're prison guards as well.
Well, that probably makes perfect sense, though. Like,
It does.
And if you're like one of 2 black judges in the state of fucking Alabama, you don't want to seem like you're going easy on your fellow people.
No, you got to get reelected too, because judges get elected.
I wonder if there's a percentage of prison guards who are First Nations. Because I mean, in our reflection of the prison system, that is the minority that is the majority of prisoners.
Well, there would have to be, I imagine, some prison guards that are Native Canadian.
And I wonder if the same holds true.
Which is what?
You don't want to be seen being nice to First Nations, because then it seems like you're.
I think prison guard and judge is a little bit different, but
just the whole prison system is. Thank God we're not there. We were talking about how. Do you remember being conscious that you could do anything you wanted under the Young Offenders Act?
No.
Like, I could commit crimes because I wasn't going to get in trouble?
Doesn't matter.
That never crossed my mind.
I was completely... I knew that.
You were aware of that.
Yeah.
You were like, I'm going to get as much crime in now as I can.
I felt about any crime I committed, I felt that way.
Just, you would be fine. You would get off. That's why you did all the crazy shit you did, because you just figured...
so. And the day I turned 18, I was like, I can't do that stuff anymore.
Scared straight.
Yeah, well, scared into rehab or whatever.
Interesting.
It is very interesting.
I can't believe you were that conscious of that, but I guess.
But I
if
knew
you're a criminal,
other people
then-
knew that. Like, get someone to do it who's 16 because they're not going to ruin their life. Or it was about getting a permanent record.
That's so interesting.
You had no record.
Never crossed my mind
because of the Young Offenders Act.
No, I never. I mean,
Sorry, go
sorry.
on.
I was gonna say. I guess I knew about it, but I just.
And you ended up going to like a kid's jail, so
I went to the youth population at Innis Road at a man's jail.
So despite the Youth Act, you still ended up in a man's jail.
Yeah, there are still consequences, but no, it was about a permanent record.
it's just not on your
It
permanent
was a
record.
permanent
Yeah.
record. If you get something on your record, you won't be like a job.
Such an irony, because he ends up with a shitty record anyways.
You know
He
what the
could've
funny-
just been fucking.
I did.
I know.
Kamar, what's really ironic too
my
is
God.
you're missing the point. It's a sealed record. The Zin face. You act like the record.
shit.
You act like the record has gone away. It hasn't. It's a sealed
as a
record.
young offender, it's gone away.
No, it's sealed. There's a big difference.
Meaning what though? What's your point?
Yeah.
So it's sealed. They're not going to.
It can't be used against.
What I
can't
get it,
use
yes, but it's listen. Your record is your record. It's still there on paper that you did that shit as a kid. It's just they can't use it against you as an adult.
Well,
Yes.
listen, he wasn't going to run for prime minister.
No,
or
I get it.
anything, You know,
But you could.
But you could.
you couldn't, because on your record you have a crime.
What, a DUI? The fuck out of here! Everyone
No,
has
that's
a DUI.
no. It's pretty bad. I mean, it's not as bad as a violent crime, but it's got a leg in there.
Every politician has a DUI.
Yeah, no, I mean,
After they get elected.
Well,
you haven't lived if you don't have one, but you shouldn't get one. Apparently, Trudeau ex brought her boyfriend on their trip to Jamaica.
Really? I wonder if he brought his
just started
boyfriend
moving
on
a
the trip to Jamaica.
Obviously,
Oh, zinger! Wah, wah, wah.
I think the only solution again to all this stuff is AI.
Solution to what?
Well,
Everything.
some of the evidence, the DNA, everything's flawed. Like he still has to dip back Josh into the whole system flawed. And I think I saw it on Philly D or one of those flashy news stores. Is the cop that busted the last guy? They've had like 27. Like he for sure. That's what, and he was touted as just the best.
Get your point. He had done other shady shit. Is that what you're saying?
27 cases at
Okay,
least.
thank you.
well, yeah, but the reason he's the
coercing
best is because
confessions.
he's closing every case.
I know, but it's come out now. Like
Yeah.
the damage is done.
He
And,
was a terrible cop
Yeah.
who was just cheating.
yeah,
Yeah.
but was lauded as a hero and fantastic.
Lauded. I like that, Kumar.
it's the Zin talking.
That's toilet paper talk.
$70,000 a
were
year
in a
to
day, you know, Matt?
incarcerate people.
I got to be honest. When they said there was 2 million people locked up, that number seemed pretty low, to be honest.
2 million?
Yeah.
I would have thought it was more than that.
Right?
Granted,
Like 2 million actually does
Is that
not.
really? I'm gonna check.
If that's the real number,
But that's like 5% of the population.
no way that's 5% of the population. Not a fucking chance.
30 million would be 10% of the population. Don't do math out loud. Come on.
There's 400 million people there. So 40 million is
take.
10% of the population.
So it'd be 20 million.
On December 1st, 2002, it was 1.23 million.
2002?
Yeah.
Why is that? Can we get some possibly not 20-year-old stat?
But that is the highest
No,
population
2022.
per capita.
That's different. 2022. So it's 4 million, you said, right?
1.2 million.
Incarcerated people in the States.
The prison population was 1.23
That doesn't seem that
million
high.
on December
get more.
31st. A
No, I'm not-
2% increase from 2021.
I'm just saying that, like, in a country the size of the States with 400 million people.
No, so 1.9 million incarcerated.
Yeah, 2 million. Okay.
And 2.9 million on probation and 800,000 on parole.
Yeah. Again, I mean, I guess it's like, I don't know. Does no one else think that's not that high?
1.9, 1.8 million
Yeah,
people.
let's call it 2 million.
Yeah, I mean, for considering their population is a trillion or whatever the fuck it is.
Well, no, but how many prisoners are there in India?
No, this is the most. The United States has the most. At the end of 2023, the United States had the highest number of incarcerated individuals worldwide, with almost 1.8 million people in prison. It was followed by China with around 100,000 fewer. Around 100,000 fewer prisoners. Around 100. That's such a weird way to write that.
So that's so interesting.
Brazil was third.
In Canada, it's 33,373 adults and 460 persons under 18.
That's
in
the
youth
same
custody.
amount that died from COVID. That's weird, eh?
We have, wow. Okay.
I think, though, when you hear that number, you seem like there's just 1.6 million people. We could just help all those people get better, and then
No. When I hear that number, I'm more thinking like, when you think about the prison industrial complex, you're like, it's living off of 2 million people. It's a very small chunk of the pie. If you really like, I just thought the number was higher. I thought it was going to be like 10 million, like 10 million.
And that's with them padding the stats. You know what I mean, Matt? They're putting in people who don't belong there.
Sure.
Small crimes, marijuana charges.
Well, we know probably 5% of those people are innocent straight up, right?
Innocent. So how many fucking criminals are there really in prison in the United States? Not that many.
No, I mean, I know it's the highest in the world.
But they also have
the amount of money they
population.
but the amount of money they spend on policing as well would make sense. Like they're trying to.
Right.
But that number, let's also be serious. If they started locking up all the people that were shitting in public and using fucking fentanyl,
locking up or putting in like a mental institution.
well, first of all, if you make it like a serious crime to, I don't know, shoot up in public, not a serious crime, but enough to get you like 30 days, right? You're still incarcerated for those 30 days. You're a number then, are you not?
But I don't know. I guess prison locked in a room. That's the key. When you're in there,
You're talking about like a year plus, right? That's what you're talking about?
at night you go back to a room.
Yeah.
and they lock a door.
Yeah.
and you're stuck in that
Yeah,
room.
prison. I get what prison is, yeah. What did you think I was
Well,
talking
no,
about?
but even prison. When I saw prison on TV, you sort of see people just walking around all day in and out of their cells. But there is a time where every
Yeah.
night you're just stuck in a room. It's crazy, and it's crazy that we live beside the biggest city with per capita prisons. Kingston has 9.
9 prisons. yeah.
9 of the 58 federal correctional institutions. It's crazy.
What do you think the top states are for incarcerated people?
Like the top 3?
the top.
States?
I mean, it's got to be California, Texas, and
Florida,
New York.
California.
It has to be Texas,
Because that's where
California,
the
New
biggest,
York.
highest
Yeah.
population
Texas,
is.
28 million.
Nope, that's not right. 2.8 million.
28?
Well, there's
We
only
just said there's only
1.6
1.9 million people locked up.
0.28 million. I see. This is such a weird.
280,000.
Okay, so that's
hold
Texas.
on,
What
I
else?
want
Was,
to get a better. Okay, you guys keep talking.
no, I'm just really thinking. Like, I honestly thought when they said 2 million people, I was like, that number can't be right because it just seems low. Like when you think about, I don't know. Let us know what you guys think. Well, these two retards check their fucking phones.
No, that's all I have. I mean, you have to listen to this podcast.
Texas, California, Florida, Georgia, and Ohio are the top
New York's
5
not even
states.
on there. Wow.
Good state. The salaries too for prison guards allow for there to be a black market in prisons.
Yeah, like if they were paid well enough, they
There's
wouldn't.
drugs, there's still extortion, there's everything that goes on. So it affects more than the prison population.
Well, that's the thing. You can't have a prison run by gangs. That just doesn't work. Right?
mean,
like in a civilized society,
It seems to work in some of those places like Fiji and shit. You know, where the show. Did you ever watch that
what
show?
the world's toughest prisons.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if it does work though, Simon.
I mean, they say it's the only way it can function.
I guess.
But I guess that's because they don't have enough guards and shit. Like if you had the proper
That's what I'm
infrastructure-
saying.
Yes,
Yeah.
of course. You're right. You're right.
Like those Scandinavian countries where they show the prisons there, where they're actually trying to rehabilitate people. Like, I'm not saying prison.
Where the guy who killed 97 people is appealing that he's getting treated poorly.
Yeah, I mean, again, listen. There's
Yeah,
some,
he doesn't get to sauna every day and shit.
listen,
Like,
Kamar. There's always going to be egregious cases. I'm not saying prison should be a fucking cakewalk. If you've committed a violent crime, you should go to prison, and it
Go to
should.
school.
well,
when you're
isn't
there.
taking away somebody's freedom enough? Like you're not allowed to do the things you want to do now. You can't see your loved ones. You can't go out.
You can see your loved ones.
No. I'm just saying like that. Those freedoms are being taken away from you. Is it too much to ask that you live in like a nicer place? That you know what I'm saying?
I understand, but what I'm saying is like if I kill your family.
Well, there's levels to this shit, Matt.
Okay, I
Like,
get it. Yeah, listen, I understand. Like if let's say, God forbid, let's say Kamar had ended up going to jail for drunk driving. He doesn't hurt anyone, but he ends up, crashing his car into a.
Third time's a charm.
Yeah, sure, that sort of thing.
into the mayor's house.
Yeah, and he has to go to jail for a year. Like I understand. We're actually trying to rehabilitate him. We're trying to make him leave a better person. I get that there's some people that are probably just lost to the system, and there needs to be, like you said, levels to this shit. But I think I understand people looking at it and saying, you committed a heinous crime. You shouldn't go to a nice place. It shouldn't be Club fucking Med.
Even though you're having your freedom revoked.
Yes. Like,
Well,
I
it
don't think.
shouldn't be Club Med. Nobody's saying you have to go to a Club Med, but like when you look at the way prisons are,
Yes, Simon, it shouldn't be a place that drives you insane.
it shouldn't be a place.
And
to
it
drive
also
to.
shouldn't be a place that makes you a better or worse criminal.
And you shouldn't be, if you're in prison, you shouldn't have to worry about like losing your life in
I
prison.
couldn't agree with that
It
more.
shouldn't be like this ecosystem
Daily fight for your
of
life. I agree, yeah.
Why does it have to be like
I
that?
agree. That's what-
and it don't.
Yes,
because you
it
look
didn't-
at those.
it don't.
You look at because you were saying
That's
you
what I'm
look
saying,
at
yes.
those Scandinavian prisons, but then you said they were too nice. But I'm saying maybe they're not too nice. Maybe
No, what
that's-
I like you, I tend to then think about the worst cases where I'm like, does this person deserve any nice, like, if you've gone and committed a heinous crime where you've killed a family in their sleep, do you deserve any nice things? No, you deserve a fucking concrete slab for the rest of eternity.
maybe the way it should work, and I this sounds harsh, but maybe this is the way it should be, is that you have these nice prisons for the people who did something wrong but need to be rehabilitated, and then you kill the people who do something so heinous. No, like you bring back the death penalty, and those people don't get to go to the cushy prison, and there's no other prison, so that's the only or you have like one horrible prison like the Gulag in fucking Siberia,
Yeah.
and you just ship everybody off out there. The problem is you'll end up with innocent people in the gulag or innocent people getting executed because we just can't get our shit together. But maybe if we had
Just maybe.
AI take over the judicial system, we would have nothing but the right cases being tried, and we could have people executed without feeling guilty. I mean, that's what the robots would want.
That's true. Yeah, it's true.
He said his come up was like New Jack City. You guys seen the movie New Jack City?
Oh, fucking love New Jack City.
It's the JRE movie game. The time has come again. For Matt and Simon to rack the brains to guess the budget in the box office. We all know they won't guess the year, and the Patreons are the real winners here at the JRE movie game. Come on, take it away, baby.
Hustler, New Jack, Hustler. It's the movie game where Matt and Simon go head to head, figure out what year a movie came out, how much it cost to make, and how much it made at the box office. This week we're doing New Jack City, directed by Mario Van Peebles, starring Wesley Snipes, Ice-T, Chris Rock, Mary Van Peebles, and Judd Nelson. This was such a good movie, but it's such a weird thing. I was 14 or whatever. You know
What are you doing, man?
It's funny how many gangbanger
That's
movies.
interesting. You could do my age.
What are you doing?
Well, I already have a year written down.
Yeah, I
What
have
does
a
it
year
matter?
written down too.
What's your year?
1992.
I have 91.
New Jack City came out 1991.
Son of a bitch.
Wow,
weeks
no
straight.
wordplay.
Oh, that's
Wordplay.
3 weeks straight. Wow.
Wordplay. You're on a run. And Judd Nelson. It was a great comeback for Judd Nelson because he really didn't.
Simon,
Give it
I'm
up
ready
that phase.
with everything here. Wow, I've been on a
New Jack.
fucking. This
New
is
Jack
this is
Hustler.
wild.
New Jack Hustler.
This page of guesses here, for the record, for the listeners, and for Kamara's not paying attention. This page of guesses for years is staggering.
Is there a reason why you've improved? Is there something
No.
you try to think if something else was happening?
Keep in mind,
You saw
I
that
missed a
movie?
bunch, but a bunch of them are within a year.
I wonder if it's movies you see when they came out or after the fact. That'd be harder to. know
No,
when
I
they
always
came
just
out.
I think I'm usually pretty good within like 5 years. I get.
All right, I'm ready.
Okay, you go first.
Actually, I'm going to just change.
Okay, I'll go first. I said it cost $12 million to make, and it made 18.4.
Whoa. I said it cost 17.8 to make, which I believe is dead on, and it made 63 million.
If only you guys could sort of combine your brains. Budget $8 million.
Oh, nice.
So Matt got that close. Box office $47.6 million.
I thought it was just a dud. I thought it was one of those like DVD movies that was like big after the fact.
It wasn't great, but it was at that time when like Boys in the Hood was about to get big and, you know, things were happening.
It was that time.
Juice had come out.
Yeah, I just thought, you know, I thought a lot of those movies were like DVD hits.
Chris Rock as a
Pookie.
crackhead.
Yeah. He was 18.
That was like his big break, no?
Yeah.
And Wesley Snipes was such a good.
Wesley Snipes.
He's Nino Brown.
Oh, yeah, right. Yes.
Such a bad guy.
I really like New Jersey Drive. It was like a lesser known. Do you remember New Jersey, Drive?
Drive.
It was about carjackers.
Juice.
No, I remember
New Jersey
Juice.
Drive was the
I don't
first
remember
time.
New Jersey
Drive was the first time I ever heard D's nuts. That was the very first.
Clockers.
Oh, clockers. Yeah.
Menace to Society.
Society. Boys of the Hood.
Menace to Society was fucking huge. That was like a big
Menace
deal
was good.
when it came.
But Menace Society, I think, was not. I might have, if I remember correctly, a box office bomb.
I'm sure, but it was like it seemed the most real.
Yeah. I agree with that.
And Jada Smith back then was just the fucking hottest.
Yeah, she was really hot. But I loved Boys in the Hood.
Yeah, Boys in the Hood was good, but
It
I mean,
absolutely does not hold up.
it's not terrible.
Simon, there's a scene where Lawrence Fishburne is trying to break down like how like the world works
Oh, yeah,
to
I
Cuba
know it,
Gooding
yeah.
Jr.
And
and
is the football guy?
Ooh, child.
Dude,
things
he
don't
walks
get
into this like
easier.
empty lot and is like waxing poetic to them about like, why do you think it's liquor store, gun store? And all the people from the neighborhood, like an old man, an old lady, a couple kids, they all walk up and they're all standing there like it might be the cheesiest fucking, like John Singleton was writing that and was like, oh, this is some hard hitting
we
shit.
But that was what it was like back then, you know?
So
It's-
fucking cheesy.
Then-
So cheesy.
You know what was I thought at the time was a good movie, but I'm not sure holds up is
Go on.
it had Ice Cube and Busta Rhymes in it, and they were on campus.
Higher Learning.
Higher learning, yeah.
Rappaport.
Rappaport, yeah.
School
as the
shooter.
Skinhead.
Christy, what was her name? She was the vampire slayer. She was so hot.
Tyra Banks in her.
Oh, Tyler Banks.
So
So hot.
So
yeah.
hot.
Menace to Society came 2 years after New Jack City.
That's interesting.
When did
Boys in the Hood was 90?
It came after Boys in the Hood.
I think it was 1990.
Boys in the Hood is the first one.
95? No.
No, 90 or 89 was
Yeah.
Boys in the Hood,
Wow.
if I'm not mistaken.
Wow. Well, Juice was the first one, wasn't it? I thought Juice came out before all of them.
Boys in the Hood, 1991.
Oh, interesting. It was also 91. Simon, this card's dead, buddy. Got bad news.
Shut up, Matt.
Okay.
I don't like.
Juice, 1992.
All right.
New Jack City might have been. New Jack City and Boys in the Hood were the launch off.
Interesting.
I'm trying to think. Oh, no. Colors.
Oh, Colors is the first
Colors
one.
is what it was.
Dude, Colors
remember
is
Colors.
a great movie with Sean Penn and Robert Duvall. It's where they
Oh,
tell
I
the
think
story. Go
yeah,
down there
yeah.
and fuck them all.
Yeah.
It's
Amazing.
Sean Penn's amazing.
And it's Ice-T singing, I am a nightmare walking, psychopath talking, king of my jungle, just a gangster stuck in living life like a firecracker cooks my feet.
Listen to this
Dead
guy.
Dead back, the colors I choose, red or blue, cryptic blood. It just don't matter, sucker, die for your life when my shotgun scatter colors.
You know what's funny is anytime I do that, Simon just sits there with an angry face, like, let's keep going. No, but the rapping, Matt, no one cares.
Well, because I don't
I
actually
am a
want to
nightmare
sing.
walking.
I just did it because
I don't want to sing. When do I sing on this show, you shitbag?
And then before that, it would have been Warriors.
Warriors.
Warriors was the shit.
And there's another one with Sean Penn.
Can you dig it?
Penitentiary.
The Warriors.
Oh, the one where they beat him with the,
They blow up the boombox.
yeah, what the fuck was that one called?
Escaping New York.
No. That's
What
way
are
off.
you talking about?
The one with Sean Penn where he's in jail. The fuck is the name of it?
I believe this is an evolutionary tract of movies. And then there's also gangster movies on the side. It's almost like the two cultural crime genres.
Well, there's no where. What are the gangster movies on the side?
Mafia, Godfather.
Oh, I see. The actual
Movies
gangster
about
gangsters.
the underbelly,
Yeah.
the violence, the crime. Almost, for lack of a better word, glorified. But
See,
Well,
then we
before
got
that, it was westerns. That's the same kind of thing.
Shoot
just
'em
in a
up.
different time. You have like Billy the Kid, and those are the guys who become famous.
and you put it all together, and you get Fast and the Furious. just
Yeah,
just
that's-
yeah.
That's
that's
what
the
AI.
culmination.
If AI took all
Yeah.
the genres of violence and crime movies,
Yeah.
this is what
Well,
you want.
really, the culmination happened in 1982, and we just didn't realize it. It was Knight Rider, that genre with like Airwolf and all of that, and then it went away. But that was really like the pinnacle of man and machine meeting.
Yeah, I wonder if that would be
I mean, Kit kind
military
of like as if
recruitment.
Apple made a car in the 80s,
Kit
right?
is AI. That is 100%
Yeah, I get it, yeah.
what it is.
I'm just saying.
Wow. They knocked it out of the park.
You know what we were talking about the other day? Did you guys ever watch Alf?
Yeah.
Alien Life Form.
Yeah.
Yeah,
His whole thing was that he ate cats.
yeah,
Yeah.
And all these neighborhood cats, he would eat like one a day.
Yeah.
they disappeared.
And no one
Nobody
ever-
said
yeah.
shit.
Oh, they were.
We
there was-
watched it and we're like, oh, hilarious. That's horrible.
And-
like all these kids were missing their pets.
On the
every day.
DVD, all the cutout scenes are the neighbors coming over. Like, have you seen our cat?
What was the? He just totally got cucked.
Walter Chumley, is that
Willie.
his name?
Willie.
I think that's his name. Yeah.
Alf just walks in, starts swinging his dick around.
What is Alf's real name?
And Sheldon Johnson, just to wrap this up, is a coda.
Coder.
Coda.
Oh no, Coda. Yeah, the blind. Yeah,
CODA.
sorry. Yeah, I thought you meant coder.
It's
But
interesting that you said it was a slip that you said blind. We'll get on that next.
Gordon.
I
Gordon
slipped that I said
Shumway.
blind. Deaf. Sorry. Yeah. My
I
apologies.
give this a 5.
Gordon Shumway.
Gordon, sorry. Yeah, I give it a
Gordon.
5. I told you, Josh Dubin gets a 5, a standing 5, as long as he keeps doing what he's doing.
I mean, I'll kind of do what I did last time. I respect Josh Dubin. I like that Joe is doing this. I've listened to a lot of true crime, so I feel
isn't a
like
true
I've
crime.
done my part. And
No, you haven't. You feel
I
like
thought
you've done
this
your part.
episode was a little dull, but I thought our synopsis with all the movies and the games was like, we did a pretty good job. I'll
Pat
give
yourself
it.
on the
I'll
back.
give it a 3 because a 3.5 because I respect what they're doing.
Oh, piece of shit. Okay, come on, last one.
295, Moshe Kasher. He's a coda.
Coda.
What is a coda?
Remember, it's you grow up with deaf people, so you
Oh, right. Yeah.
You can speak in
So
sign.
he's part of the community.
And
both his parents, right?
Sheldon really highlighted that he was communicating for his mother, and people would just think she's retarded or something, for lack of a better term.
Sheldon said that?
Sheldon said that, and you can imagine Moshe was like embarrassing having to have a doctor's appointment or something. Something sensitive information I have to know about you, and
You got to pass it on
It-
to your
it's just-
mom.
and
My
your kid,
vagina
it's
itches.
just it's a weird.
Well, when she had
sort
to
of-
tell him he had crabs.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
She had to fucking, it is odd. You know what? I genuinely hadn't given a lot of thought to deaf people's plight until this episode.
Yeah, I agree.
And we know, like, one of our friends growing up
Yeah.
was hearing impaired. And I hadn't really thought about how fucking hard that must have been for him.
but everyone did try to be inclusive with him.
Yeah,
They
we called
did.
him,
They
we called
did
him
it-
Deaf
they
Peter.
did
we
a
tried
good-
our hardest.
Here, I'll put it this way. Yes, a lot of his friends were like dicks about it, but they included him in everything.
Yeah, of course. Peter
so
was-
if
yeah.
that's what it took to make sure that he wasn't just left out,
Yeah,
I
he
think
was really good at reading
I think
lips
that's
too.
what it takes, and it was
you
amazing.
need a good group of friends.
It's amazing when he had that implant.
Oh, dude, that video of his brother here, or him hearing his brother's voice for the first time, I nearly
Because I worked with him just a couple years ago at that place, so I was around him all the time. You know.
yeah, but it just must be.
Oh, it is. You're different,
Simon.
Like, it's almost like a race thing.
I love music, and I remember Peter used to sit like on or beside the speaker because he could like really just feel the bass. So like there were certain songs that were like super bassy.
I mean,
I remember Broshak would be like, Peter loves this song. It's like super.
I wouldn't even give. I hadn't even given music a second thought. That
Yeah,
would
'cause
be
you don't like
terrible
music.
never to listen to music, but that seems like the least of the.
No, the amount I love.
You know
music,
what I'm saying? If I told you, you couldn't hear, and I told
I'll get it. Just keep talking.
I would have
who
drank.
talks with their hands like that?
I would've drank
Who
that.
puts a fucking drink right there on the table? You did all. I know I did it all wrong. What were we talking about?
We're talking about blind
Have it
people.
all over me. Coda.
Well, what I
No.
want to say.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
He said blind, and
Yeah.
I said no,
Deaf.
you meant deaf.
Yeah.
But in my head, I sort of think blind, deaf people.
No, but it's
they're
two totally different things.
Of course, it's totally
What
different.
would you rather?
I think blind.
You'd rather be blind than deaf.
I think so.
You would too.
Well, but not to discredit deaf
So you
people.
would never be able to see anything, but you would be able to hear things. I don't know if that's right.
Girls like blind guys. Because, I mean, I don't know. I think with blind people, all their other senses are slightly heightened just because they have to be.
But not with deaf people.
Well, I wonder what would be
I
heightened
wonder
with
if
a deaf
you're.
person.
You must. Your eyesight must be amazing, right?
Simon, I've seen enough. Like I've
Great
been.
eyes.
I think the fact that I've lived 40 years with sight, I could not live the rest of my life without music. I couldn't. I'd be miserable.
Or, well, but I would just wonder, and you can only speculate because he was talking about how deaf people have their own language. We had talked about before, but this is a fascinating discussion.
Each language being so different is so weird. Like, why not just have the universal?
They're so distinct. It's such a distinct population.
Yeah.
And they tried to take it away from. Well, we'll get into it. Coming Forever would be the worst.
Yeah.
They were just talking about Sting and the Coming Forever. I don't think that's what it is, but it would start to become a
Tantric
bad
sex.
Like
They're talking
coming-
about Sting.
coming
Yes,
forever?
coming
Orgasm forever
yeah.
would be a living hell.
Well, it would just take all the fun out of orgasm.
Yeah.
There's stories of
But it's
that
like people
woman
who
who's
sneeze all the. I think I fucked something up. Which one am I? 3? I don't know. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, there, that one. Yeah, I fucked it up. Thank you.
It's fine.
Thanks. People who sneeze forever. You know.
Yeah.
Think about how terrible that must be. But
terrible.
a sneeze feels great when it
Hiccups.
happens.
yeah, I'm more like an orgasm.
A sneeze is kind of a mini orgasm.
It's a release,
eh?
for sure.
I think they say that's true. That sneezing and orgasms are like. Oh, I'll check for you.
I don't think you need to.
I think I will, Matt, because that's what kind of guy I am.
I like Moshe because he came out of the gate saying I'm selling a book.
Right up front.
Right up front. Subculture
just let us
vulture.
know. Yeah.
Which Joe was inspired by him, and Joe's thinking about doing a book on pool
Oh my god.
culture. Now, I think it'd be better if he did a fiction,
You want Joe to write a fiction novel?
nonfiction,
about
a nonfiction, a story that could become a movie or something.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah. I don't.
No,
know.
I don't want that to happen either way. I don't think Joe needs to write this book. Doesn't need to happen.
Where's Joe going to squeeze out this precious time to write the book?
Yeah.
All his hours are completely accounted for.
I think with
If Joe does write a book, I'm tapping out.
the,
Because,
the use of AI, you could write a book.
me.
No, anyone could write a book because Joe has talked enough about his life.
Oh, you
that
could write
put
Joe's
together
book.
a
Gotcha.
biopic.
Gotcha. I'd call
It'd
it
be-
putting on my hoodie and leaving.
It'd have some tones of the Karate Kid.
Yeah. For sure.
Ooh, interesting. Can I just interject for a
Sure,
second?
Sure.
Is sneeze related to an orgasm? The myth might also have its origins in the fact that both the inside of the nose and the genital area contain erectile tissue. However, there is no scientific evidence to support the idea that the erectile tissue from the different parts of the body operate in the same way. So, no. There you go.
The more you know. What else you got from Moshe there, Kmar?
It was interesting when Joe talked about bachelor culture.
Bachelor culture.
Okay. Like living by yourself?
Like that became a thing. Like single men specifically, what they would do. They're not on phones. Like what the population did. They play pool
Oh, you're saying like back in the day.
back in the day, 60 years ago. Whatever there was. I guess you played darts. Like what
Well,
single
they
men
went to bars. It's like Mad Men, you know what I mean? They went to bars, they drank.
and played pool.
I mean, was pool that big a thing for everywhere?
I'm assuming.
I mean, the early 1900s, billiards was fucking huge. It was everywhere.
I almost feel like it's an American thing, ingrained in them. I mean, we play pool up here. It's an international game for sure.
Where was it created? It can't be an American.
Must
thing. It's
have
gotta
been
be
British,
I was going to
yeah.
say Britain. Yeah.
I bet
I'll
you
check
pool
that,
is
man.
like.
So you think
rugby
snooker was invented over there, and then the U.S. created like that makes sense.
That
Yeah.
bore's too big. And bachelor culture and street geniuses. Joe was talking about guys in pool halls that could do amazing calculations and
Yeah.
chess geniuses with no accomplishment. They may be homeless, but how many are there out there?
Whoa, this
They're probably just somewhat autistic.
so pool evolved from a lawn game similar to the croquet played during the 15th century in Northern Europe and
No
probably
way.
in France. Play was moved indoors to a wooden table with green cloth to simulate grass.
No
and a simple
way.
border was placed around the edges.
No way.
That's crazy, eh?
So it's sacrilege to use a different type of felt.
That's crazy.
That's
You're
crazy.
getting away from the
When
root of
did
the
pool
game.
start in the U.S.? It is believed that the Spaniards introduced billiards to the Americans in 1565.
Wow, it's
although
been around
the
a
game was
long
not
time.
very popular initially. Between the years of 1878 and 1956, however,
There we go.
the game skyrocketed in popularity, with players becoming famous by competing in annual championships. Okay.
Oh, the more you know. I had no fucking idea. It started off as croquet, basically. That's so interesting.
That would be a cool pool table, though.
So, and Michael
What, we have to
Phelan
stand up
brought
on
it from Ireland. So,
Oh, just make it in the
was It
backyard.
was a European thing.
That's so interesting.
Croquet pool. and you have holes.
That sounds like a lot of fun, actually.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah. I think
You
we
just set up like
made
a
new
putting,
game.
set up like a putting green with borders. Yeah.
And
Hey,
it's somewhere
Kamar,
between a putter and a
I
croquet.
think our new invention is going to be called Crocool. And we're going to make $1 million.
At least.
Crocool.
At least.
I'm in.
Kamar and I are in. Kamar, are we going to cut this fucking idiot in?
I'm yours.
Oh, no. Okay,
He missed
yeah.
it. He missed it.
No, you offered it your nice hands. Yeah, I
Like
saw
this.
it. Yeah, no, I
Like a
know.
real piece of work.
It's the meat.
All right, what's next, Kamar?
Falcon training.
Oh, I would love to have a falcon.
Oh, you've mentioned this many times.
I really would, though.
No, I believe you.
Did I tell you why I wanted the falcon? Because
No.
I read this book when I was in like probably grade 9.
A Falcon book.
No, it was this book called I can't remember the exact title, The Far Side of the Mountain or The Other Side of the Mountain. And this kid runs away from home,
Okay.
15 years old or something, and he finds this giant tree in the woods. I think he lives in like California or something.
Okay.
And he makes his house in the giant tree, which sounded amazing.
Yeah.
And then he trained a falcon
Oh,
to
my
be
God.
his hunting partner. Like he was living the life, you know?
Sounds right.
But
up
you
your
have
alley.
to do it that way. You can't go buy a falcon. from
No.
a falconer.
No,
you gotta, like, capture a
it's
wild
like
falcon.
Avatar.
Do you think
where
you need a license to do it?
No.
I think you have to have a falcon license, yeah.
No, I doubt it.
Thank you for checking in. But yeah, so you have to find the falcon.
Yeah.
Then you have to catch it and put it in the dark
Yeah, you got to watch a season of Friends with it.
and use and use food to make it your bitch. But once it's your bitch, it's your
Yeah.
bitch.
Yeah. Then it's like we're watching the rest of the 9 seasons.
It's like how you can trick the crow into becoming your buddy.
Yeah, just by feeding it a bit. Yeah.
And while you're looking it up, owls are dumb.
If you are new to falconry and you want to practice falconry with a native bird, you must obtain an apprentice falconry license.
Okay.
This license requires you to hold a small game hunting license and to apprentice under an experienced falconer and complete the Ontario Hawking Club apprentice program.
Okay.
I think I know what
As-
I'm
listen.
doing with my spare time.
Listen, as a falconer, a real falconer just goes out. You don't need this pussy license, okay?
I think I just found my new
I
hobby.
think you would want to. I think you would want to take the course though. So you've got a falcon.
For
now
safety's
what?
sake, yes. Yeah.
I wonder if
Falcons
I could,
for dummies.
I wonder if I could train my falcon to fuck the deer up.
Well, at least
That
shoo them,
seems
At
legal.
least shoo them away.
Ooh.
At least shoo them away.
Maybe I can get one of those giant eagles, you know, the ones from
I already told you. I don't know why you don't get
wherever that pick up the goats.
get a predatory animal and just put it on the like a
Like
taxidermy.
I should get a tiger, a
yeah,
pet
like
tiger.
No, just get a taxidermy tiger and put it
It's
on the
not
property.
going to work.
I guarantee
These
you it
deers
works.
are so dumb.
It's gonna work.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get a big old stuffed fucking bear
Yeah,
Yeah, and a wolf.
and get some
and a
speakers.
real wolf.
No,
No, not a real wolf.
a model wolf.
Maybe if you just got some
That'd be
speakers.
so cool
that
if you
had the
become a
sound
falcon
of
or something.
predators,
That's a good
like
one.
a bear. Like, yeah,
Yeah. Maybe I can get Bigfoot sounds.
yeah.
Nothing scares.
This
the
was
wildlife
great.
like
This episode was also great because they did not talk about one thing.
What
of the
episode?
things.
What episode are we talking about?
Talk about
Moshe
Moshe
Kasher.
Kasher.
Oh yeah, right.
Talk about Boycia Cash.
How many bot surgeries does a surgeon get?
It shouldn't be more than one.
Dude, that story, that's the bad doctor. It's on Crave. Not Crave, Prime.
It's called Bad Doctor.
They've done like a couple of seasons now, and one of the seasons was the one they were talking about.
gotcha,
But
okay.
I think they actually talked about both seasons on there. They just didn't realize they were actually. He said he watched the documentary. They turned that documentary into. Do you want me to find out what it was called?
No.
Anyways, this guy was fucking ridiculous. Like,
But was
Sounds
he
ridiculous.
a bad person or was he just absent-minded?
he was a bad person.
Okay.
Because it's so funny. In both these cases, not only were these guys like the worst doctors running this like horrible scam, but they were also scamming a woman for love on the side, pretending that they were.
What an interesting. They were scamming a woman for love.
Well, they were like pretending that
He
they
fell for
were
her.
normal people.
Yeah.
Or pretending to be normal people having this like relationship when meanwhile they're fucking serial killers and they're married to somebody else or 2 other people. Like these guys were fucked, man.
It sounds fucked.
Yeah.
Should there be birth control for dogs?
No.
I mean, it's interesting. I was thinking when they were having this whole birth control talk,
And you can just get a girl dog and a guy dog.
Joe's crazy about
Yeah,
the
it
whole
just goes
birth
down a
control
rabbit
thing. It's one of his like,
Yeah.
the birth control's fucking up all the girls.
New cause.
He has 2 girls who
3,
are coming.
technically.
Well, no, but the
Yeah,
other
yeah,
one's
Yeah,
of
30,
age
yeah.
to do what she wants. 2 girls who are coming into their sexual prime.
Yeah.
Let's call it.
Okay. Weird.
They're all on the pill.
Is Joe not planning to put his daughters on the
No,
pill?
they're not on the
Like,
pill. They're not on the pill.
They're not on the pill.
No.
They're just out there raw dogging it.
Raw dogging.
No,
no,
I don't-
no.
I-
Using condoms.
Kamar quickly changed. He went raw dogging it. Yeah. No. Sorry. No, they're using condoms.
I don't buy
They're
it.
safe. But sorry, I put
don't
cream
buy
in cream instead of milk. Or sorry, I cut off your leg. There was the.
But
nurse-
how is there not a vaccine? Here, we're going to tout vaccines for a second.
Okay.
If they're giving us vaccines for whatever the fuck they're giving us.
Yeah, you want a semen vaccine?
No, just a VD vaccine
Hmm.
where you can't get any sexually transmitted disease, you know?
Yeah, we'd all be down for that. I don't think you're
How
going to get
does
an
that
argument.
not exist?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the truckers would protest to get it done. The person.
You
who's-
can't talk about that shit anymore. You've lost your trucker card.
Oh, I have something from the post show.
Your painted
the
nails.
nurse Jackie story where they swapped out all the fentanyl.
Yeah.
And people are like, no.
That's
It's
fucking
your brain thinking it hurts, but no, actually, no. I really think
That's insane.
Dude, I
so
couldn't
insane.
imagine anything worse. Being paralyzed but awake for the surgery. Like, oh my God.
And in so much pain.
And in so much pain, and you can't do anything
Yeah.
because you can't
Miserable.
move, you can't scream. Oh my God, it's so horrifying.
back to
It's so horrifying. It'd be like being buried alive, like that feeling of just.
Moshe growing up similar to us.
I can't think about it. I start getting like serious apoplexy when I start thinking about that.
It sounds like Moshe grew up like similar to us, embracing rap culture and stuff. And I remember just thinking it was the best thing ever that you could get a 40 of Old English at the beer store.
Yeah,
and
we
they got drunk and got sick. You're like, what?
Dude, when we could buy 40s, we thought it was so cool.
It seemed like
It's
it was
the worst
champagne
liquor.
or
So
just
gross.
this great.
What was it? Old English, and what was the other one?
St. Ides.
No,
There was St. Ides, there was Colt 45,
Colt 45. That's it.
and there was Blue Bull or something. And there was Mickey's. He said there's a white boys, but I had some Mickey's.
Mickey's just like the little fucking
Little
bottle.
grenades of malt liquor that just got you so fucked up.
Well,
I never drank beer.
Mickey's could be of any.
Well, first of all,
Liquor.
Mickey in the
There was
States
also
is
a
a
brand.
roofie.
Yeah, that's
Mickey's
right,
a term we use for like a small bottle of booze.
Yeah, it's a 10.
Whatever the
10
little 10 ounces or whatever.
Not like
fuck
the
it is.
airplane bottles.
No, it's the
size
slightly
up
bigger
from
one.
that.
Yeah. Because I remember when I lived in the States, I was like, can I get a Mickey of like Crown Royal? And the guy was like, I'm sorry, what?
You want me to spike your drink?
Yeah.
You're in the wrong bar, pal. That one's down the street.
Yeah.
Kamar hangs out there.
Oh, the last thing about medicine, doctors that make ways to kill people. Like the maid, like we were just, it's just such a weird counterintuitive, but they're like,
Like who makes mustard gas? Is that what you mean?
no, who would make a suicide machine?
Well, that one's easy. It's just a hammer that smashes your head.
Not
Well, a doctor doesn't make a suicide machine.
who does?
A fucking scientist of some sort, I would imagine.
I'm sure that scientist is a doctor.
Or an engineer or something.
I think they'd have to be a doctor.
Well, I mean, they have a doctorate in something, but they're not the type of doctor.
Is it
you're
scientists that
talking
make
about.
all the like electric chair? I guess so.
Well, that's not doctors who
That's
make
just
those.
electrician.
That's just an
Well, no, I
electrician.
think it's some sort of engineer, an electrical engineer. Or
That's a good point.
Or an inventor.
That's a good point.
But it's not a doctor. Doctors don't invent stethoscopes.
Yeah, I suppose because I was watching a video
You'd
of.
think
Do
they'd have
they?
a doctor somewhere in the room.
I mean, but do you have to be a doctor to invent a
No, no,
stethoscope?
you're right, no.
That's silly.
I'm sure it's
It's
designed
like
in
you
like
don't have
CAD,
to be a
like anything
chef
else.
That's interesting.
to invent the hot plate or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But there are
Again, I
doctors.
think you'd be good having a
I
chef
guess they're
somewhere in the
helping.
room, right?
I would imagine that you'd probably get some input from a chef. But I can tell you this. I watch a lot of Dragon's Den and for the Americans, Shark Tank. And the people who invent things are not always like the people who are in that specific
I agree.
genre, you know?
Someone
But sometimes you
invented
will
an
see
MRI
a
machine
fireman
on Dragon's
who
Den.
invents something to do with fire. So it does happen. I mean, I think it can go both ways, man.
Kamar, you skipped over it in the Jeff Dye episode. One of the fucking funniest things is when he was talking about the guy on the glass blowing show who's like, who drops that super poignant thing where he's like,
If I die,
they're like, you're not going to live that long. And he's like, yeah, well, if I die, it's because I wanted to put my art out there in the world. And they're like, oh, what do you make? He's like, mostly dildos and bongs.
Grip it and rip it. No, what is it?
Oh, the ripping and the tearing. The ripping and the tearing. The ripping and the tearing.
You thought he was a bit bitty.
Shut the fuck up, man.
We talked about.
You're a bit gay.
They talked about the priest. Like there was a time where people were just deaf. You're fucked. Good luck.
Yeah, it's terrible.
All the best to you. You had a big disadvantage, and people probably took advantage of you.
Well, I assume too that when deaf people, blind people, like at some point they probably just shipped them off to like weird schools and stuff, you know, and parents would never see them again. It was. Am I wrong?
It was really bad.
No, I mean, I assume
Anybody who had a disability.
I assume that some that happened to, but I also assume that some just made their way in the world without communicating. Like if you think about getting a job, like if you just watch someone do a job for an hour, you might be able to then be like, okay, I can do this, and someone will. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, like it.
I thought it was really interesting when they were saying like it was the family that make the language. So depending on, you know, because there was no...
Yeah. You just got to do
beginning.
it. This is cat.
So that was the two types of families, I guess you could have. The ones that would ship you away, who want, you know...
Or the others who were willing to deal with it.
And the others who were willing to deal with it. And that's what you did.
And then there was a time where they tried to ban it.
Ban sign language? Yeah.
That is so fucked up.
It's so fucked up.
What was the logic behind that?
Because they're speaking in a way we can't understand.
It's so crazy. What did they think? They were all communists or something?
Whatever it was, it's so crazy.
This is how they're getting their like orders from Mother Russia.
Dude, there's this. I remember this Ali G sketch where he's talking to this cop and he's asking about gang signs. He's like, yeah, we call it on the streets. They call it stacking. And he's like, they'll use signs to signal, you know, a re-up or someone to come across the street or whatever. And then Ali G's like, oh, wicked, man. He goes, last night I was sitting in the hotel lobby and he goes, and there was a couple of gang members there. They was stacking hard. And the cop sits there and looks at him for a second. And he goes, I think those were deaf people.
They were stacking hard.
Kamar, is that it? There's no way.
No. The first implant, I guess, is in.
Neuralink?
And it's sort of the way the thing he was saying that some deaf people don't like. The implants say that we were talking about our friend got.
Yeah.
Like there's not a consensus on whether that's a good thing or if you're trying to get rid of us. And I guess the next step will be the Neuralink.
It's such a weird thing, though. It's like we're not like if you try to give someone who's lost a limb their limb back, like if someone uses a prosthetic, you're not then trying to get rid of them. You're trying to help them.
But did you hear what Pat McAfee said?
What?
They should be banned from sport.
Deaf people?
No, Neuralink.
Oh. I was like, that's a hard stance for Pat to take.
I imagine deaf guys would be good.
At sports?
Depends on what
they're
sport.
not
just no ambient.
distracted by
Yeah.
the crowd.
Well, I mean, in basketball, they still fucking, if you're taking a free throw, they're still.
But you'd still be just so focused.
You'd have to hear people call for a pass. Like it only works in certain sports.
I think you forget
Sports
too
you
that
play on your own.
you're also forgetting as well, like the rumble of the stadium. Like you feel like your senses are probably heightened, so like you feel the rumble of the crowd. It might still play into. I don't know. That's
I
a
don't
good
think
question.
that matters. But
I don't
like
know.
if you're playing football,
Yeah.
you have to be able to like. I guess not.
Hear the
You're
whistle.
running your route.
No, other stuff. You're right.
No, but basketball for sure. You have to be able to hear somebody calling for a pass. You have to. All that stuff comes into play.
So
think
Pat
is
McAfee thinks if you have Neuralink, you shouldn't be able to play.
If a
pro
quarterback
sports.
just goes there and goes, do, do, do,
I agree. There
That's
should be
receiver.
a special league for anybody who has Neuralink.
well, they could be Peter
the-
Thiel's drug Olympics.
The cyborgs need to have their own everything.
Yeah.
They should have their own schools. They should drink at their own water fountains.
That's true,
They
yeah.
should no mixing
Yeah.
of the
No
cyborgs
soups.
and
No
the,
soups.
no soups.
Yeah. Fuck
Borgs.
the soups.
No Borgs.
Yeah.
A weird
Ban the Borgs.
A weird part was at one point they were talking about Stephen Hawking, and that led to Epstein. And it felt like Bush was like, "Is that what they're doing over there?" Almost like
Yeah, like
Conan's-
norms, yeah.
I haven't given much more thought to what it was, but for sure there was a time where people were envious of people going to Epstein Island. Before,
Well, yeah, other
everyone knew everything.
pedophiles were very
Yeah.
jealous
No,
of
but
the people
they
who
have
got
how many
to go
kids
to
over there?
Epstein Island.
Innocent people would hear about this. Oh, I wish I could go on.
Who
that.
are the innocent people who are wishing they could go there?
No one knew what he was up to 20 years ago.
They were hearing about wild orgies and they wanted to go take part in them.
But there was,
I mean, in everyone's defense, if I heard about an island where there was wild
Well,
orgies,
sure.
I'd probably be pretty intrigued as well.
and it's like Eddie Bravo says, he goes, if I was a fucking rock star, and you said we can get on this plane and go to, when I'm in my 20ils, I'll fucking go.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
And you said
100%.
there's a bunch of bitches there.
Yeah.
And then I get there and I'm like, you brought your kids? And they're like, no, those are the honeys.
Yeah.
I'd be in a kayak
Yeah.
out of there.
If you
true.
got invited to Fuck Island, though,
Yeah.
and you didn't know there was anything wrong with Fuck Island,
Yeah.
that would be like your dream, you know?
Yeah, I'm 41 years I've been waiting for my invitation to Fuck Island.
I got this place, Fire Island.
You can fuck on it.
You'll be fucking a lot. I don't know if Joe's aware, but we have a Canadian Epstein,
Nygaard?
Peter Nygaard,
Yeah.
who is just as crazy
Yeah.
as anything that.
Well, from what we've seen, I'm sure every country has a Jeffrey Epstein.
But Nygaard, I don't know if he bought a peninsula in the Bahamas, but it's a used to be a amusement park, and that's his place he had.
You know what's insane?
Go on.
Is that they found that there was this island, Fuck Island, where they were fucking children.
Yeah.
And the guy got caught
Yeah.
and then murdered in prison.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And then his second in command got caught. And apparently a list came out and no one gives a fuck.
Yeah. No, we
Like,
don't.
have you
Because
ever
I know
seen...
somebody's on it. Everyone knows
Yeah, that's
somebody.
true, yeah.
Have you
It's that
ever
far-reaching.
seen a bigger fucking... Nobody cares.
It seems like the NHL,
Nobody cares.
NHL or Hockey Canada, very similar.
It's like the biggest nothing burger there was.
What are you gonna do? Prosecute?
Yeah. Well, we're supposed to send people to
Bring
jail?
people to
Come on.
jail.
No,
Justice, come
but
on
you
now.
think there would be like news stories about it, giant like let's
do,
talk
you
about it a
barely care.
year later every
I
year.
care.
Am I right? You do care. It's
Yeah,
one of the-
dude, pedophiles should go to jail. If the most richest, powerful people are on an island fucking kids that they've had like shit
If there
there.
are former presidents or current
Yeah.
presidents or whatever that are on that list, oh my God, speaking of current presidents, you know what's happening? They're talking about it now.
the replacement theory.
About
Michelle,
yeah.
Oh,
If
Big Mike?
I told you this was going to happen.
I heard it was talked about, and she was like, "Hell no, I would never want to do that." I feel
Of
like
course,
Barack went
that's
through.
what she has to say.
I don't know. We'll see.
Anyways, back to Fuck Island.
Back to
Yeah,
Moishe
no,
Kazher and Fuck
nobody
Island.
fucking cares. Like, it's crazy. It is really, it's insane. If it was a story about like a Fuck Island that incriminated nobody,
Yeah.
there would be miniseries about it.
Yeah.
There would be fucking books and movies, and it would be talked about constantly on the news. When the pig guy, they found the
Picton, Robert Picton.
every day on the news. Remember that OJ thing?
Remember
Every
that
day on the
OJ
news.
thing?
But fucking Epstein can't get a fucking squeak of publicity. Like, they're crazy, man.
Yeah, his
It's
PR people
crazy.
really need to do better.
Yeah, they fucked up.
Yeah.
They fucked up.
Simon, can you look at that card, please? Because you're going to be
I
infuriated.
looked at it.
Oh, did you?
But
Okay.
it's only the third.
It's the fourth now.
Yeah, well, it just started.
Okay, sure.
So obviously,
So it's done. It's over.
Bigfoot.
It's not over, man. You have a whole 15 minutes.
It's 12.
Whatever the fuck it is.
Go ahead, Kumar.
Obviously, Bigfoot, aliens, everything is. The future's happening at the same time as the past, and the light shines the right way, or you hit your head and you see into it or out of it.
Oh, that was
Nothing
deep.
you just
No,
said
that was
made
so
it. No,
poignant.
I
You
didn't.
got it.
Yeah.
I didn't get it.
Oh, no. He's
Could
so
viruses be aliens?
Deep. Yep.
That'd be a good way to get
I
around.
mean, that would make sense. the way they operate.
They come, they go.
They're just little terrorists coming into you.
Just little terrorists.
Should we be? Is clothes like? Is that a
Holding us
weird
back?
thing that we had clothes?
No. I
that
think
we wear clothes.
Joe
Wear
nailed
clothes.
it. Moshe nailed it. He's like, it's. I think it's colder out there than we give it credit for.
I think cold is a key one.
Like, Kamar, anything less than 15 degrees Celsius, if you're not clothed in some sort of way, like a stiff breeze, you're going to be fucking cold.
You got to keep moving.
Listen, I watch Naked and Afraid.
Yeah. You've made
you
that
want
clear.
fucking clothes.
Yeah, of course. Imagine getting your dick caught on just random stuff. That would happen. Think of how many things your dick brushes up
If
against
there
in a
was
day.
if it wasn't cold, you
Try
lived in
climbing a tree with no
Near the
clothes.
equator.
Oh, dude, your dick would just get hacked up to.
You,
oh,
you
it'd
would
be
have to
insane.
get calluses
Yeah,
on it
it'd be
and
nuts.
shit. Like,
Yeah.
But you know what? Don't worry, because you're not going to need it to fuck.
You
Yeah.
never wore clothes.
Also, no one talks about like the gross anuses that are probably out there. Like those need to be covered up. We don't want you might be like I like some tits and I like
But you might have a pubic mound so big that it's like a cup.
that's even worse.
Well, that's interesting for climbing trees. If you have like a big
just a
belly
huge bush and a belly.
It's almost like you're
and
a piece
the
of
bush
Velcro.
too. Like the bush would supply a lot of. If you could get like dreadlocks.
What about a world where there was just one clothing?
Ooh, I like it.
It breathed
Like a
fine,
toga.
It was comfortable.
Well, that's what made Greece and ancient Egypt so great. I imagine.
You know what's funny?
is
This
they
guy's
all
like
wearing
super
togas.
Trump supporter trucker guy. Yet today has been like, we need to just be on one currency. We need all to be wearing the same clothes.
No,
Yeah,
no,
my
one currency.
nails
It's
are
no
painted.
currency. It's
It's
no
the nails.
currency.
Sorry, no
It's
currency.
no
yeah.
currency. Well, no, but just of course it'd be horrible if we were all uniformly dressed.
Would it be?
I don't know. But I mean,
Nobody would ever have to like worry about like competing with what the next guy is wearing. Everybody's wearing their fucking bed sheet.
one color.
No, it would be a different color every day of the week.
You could choose a different, but everyone wore the same color.
No, everyone has to
We're
wear
having yellow day, red
on
day, blue
Monday,
day, green
yeah,
day.
Green Day,
Green Day, it would be the colors: blue day,
yeah.
red day.
And then if someone wasn't wearing the right color, a mom would just kill
They're
them.
lynched.
Yes.
Yeah, immediately.
Well, it's
yeah, of
immediate
course.
death. You have
Yeah.
a little chip in your head, and
Yeah.
as soon as you break the rules,
Yeah.
boom, immediate death.
Yeah.
He talked about the idea of that there's some number of resources to evolution, and you can never make it. Almost like
I get- yeah.
self-perpetual motion. To get to where we have to get it, we can't make it. And then it all crashes anyways, which is happening in another multiverse.
Like in
Somewhere,
order
sometime.
to reach the next phase of humanity, we have to make nuclear energy. But with nuclear energy, we kill ourselves, and is that what you're saying?
That could be an example.
I think Joe's probably right, and all humans always take the fact that we have no control over anything that's happening in space out of the equation. And like, what's that old saying? If you want to make God laugh, make plans or something like that.
Yes.
I've never heard that.
Yes, that's the same.
It's close to that.
Sure.
I butchered it.
Make a
little
plan.
bit, but-
What if in history, because we're hunter-gatherers and steam engines, whatever, there was a course.
What?
Well,
we were
okay.
hunter-gatherers and steam
We were
engines?
hunter-gatherers.
And whatever.
Yeah.
And then
we
were,
made steam
no, we
engines?
did boats. Then we were aquatic. We built boats.
We were hunter gatherers, then we were
Boats,
boaters.
sails,
Sails,
steamboat,
steamboat,
airplane, car,
Airplane car.
airplane.
car, airplane. Yeah,
That's our history.
that's our progression.
Now, 1 week of the year in history would be like, but some people think there might have been a civilization far advanced of us. Like, did you ever hear any of this?
No.
The pyramids were built by the slaves and
Yeah.
Bob's your uncle. Like,
Yeah.
but just one avenue of some people say this. There's no scientific evidence to prove it, but this is an idea. Would that get your attention in school? Do you think it'd all be? I don't care.
If they had taught me the real shit in school, I think I would have been much more interested.
or alternative possibilities. at
Alternative
least.
possibilities,
It would.
sure.
It would not be destructive though, or
Well, how could it
Detrimental.
be how could it be detrimental?
I wish they would have at least just
there's a
taught me how to
truth.
do my fucking taxes. Like
Yes.
anything we learned in school was fucking useless. Calculus? Come on.
Typing? Kind of
Well, typing would have been fucking great. I didn't have that. I would have loved typing. What are you talking about? Typing's the most useful thing you could have right now. Well, doing it that way ain't helping.
Well, it's helpful if I want to be a fucking secretary.
No,
The new Apple has come out. The Apple headsets.
I want it so bad.
Do you though?
Yeah.
Did you watch Marquise Browntree or whatever his name is review?
No, I didn't know.
I think you had watched that before.
Oh, he said it's not all it's cracked up to be.
He said
That's the one
for
where the screen
$4,000
shows your eyes
Yeah.
and your eyes actually have motion and shit.
Kamar,
you have to do this. You get a keyboard, and if you look at a letter and do that, it types it. This is the enter text.
So if I look at an R and I do this,
There's a
how
keyboard
does
in
it
front
know
of you.
what letter I'm looking
Because
at?
it has like 20 cameras that are looking
your
right at your
eyes,
retina.
yeah.
See, wow, that's crazy.
And that's all you can do.
I know, but this is annoying, this.
That is annoying.
Or you go like this.
I don't like that either. That's stupid.
So that's why it might be annoying. But you can just sit there and watch on a big screen movie or anything.
Simon, I could be sitting right here. Blank room, okay? Me and this table. I can throw up on that wall massive big screen TV with a movie playing. Over here, I could have an NBA game on.
Your computer.
And over here, I could have my notes. I could be doing trivia bullshit. I could be
You're
doing
going into like a
It's incredible.
like
Listen,
a Star Trek, one of those rooms.
If you have $4,000,
the holodeck.
is
I'm not
burning
paying.
a hole in your pocket.
I
for
would
sure get it.
I'm never paying $4,000 for it. I think it's cool as fuck. If someone gave me one or I won one, I'd be amped. I'm never like, dude, the NBA shit they were showing with it is fucking cool as shit.
That is just really cutting yourself off from society, eh? You put this thing on, and all of a sudden you're in this.
But it's
whole-
it's
No, you're
coming
missing
from all angles.
Simon, you're missing. Simon, you're missing it. There's two.
not good.
There's a knob on the side.
Yeah.
And you twist it, and it
you
cuts
can
out the
see
world.
room. Yeah, no, it's cool, but I'm just saying, like, you put that on, and if nobody bothers you, and you don't have to see anybody, or
Yeah.
whatever, you could just disappear into that for God knows.
You can
how
also just
long.
be sitting at a lake.
Yeah.
And there are speakers here. That's the only problem too. If you're out in public wearing it, because you can walk around public.
Yeah, because it has the eyes.
Yeah.
Well, it has cameras. You can't see. You cannot actually see through it.
Yeah. It's just
Can
projecting
you have
what you
one eye on the road and one eye on like the
I
television
don't
screen?
know. Casey and I sat one and did a real practical one. When you walk, it won't.
Oh, that's interesting.
You can't
As a
walk.
fail safe.
With that motion, you can't.
Interesting.
And
It probably makes you nauseous because it's projecting what you're seeing. So
he
the movement,
was on a subway, and as in the window, other surfaces, it would like conk out.
No, we're about
other
to,
motion.
we're
Yeah, it's the
about
first
to just
iteration.
fucking-
Well, that's what I was trying to get around to. It's the first iteration, and in 10 years, this will be sunglasses, and then it's game over.
Ready Player One. Have you
Yes.
guys seen that
Yeah, that's
movie?
what it is. That's what it
That is probably exactly where we're headed. Some version
Well,
of that.
the thing is, maybe it's further away, but this thing it's heavy still.
Yeah, but once they have like a built-in fucking
The Neuralink
no, not even. You could do it with like a
contact lens.
contact lens. Thank you. Right? Like that's the way to do it without having to let Elon have control over your fucking body like a puppet.
And there are no apps for it.
yet. There were no apps when the iPhone came out.
But you can use apps,
Existing
but
apps.
but they are just the app.
Yeah.
They aren't curated for it.
But that will happen.
Yeah.
Well, no,
I
the
suppose.
NBA is going to be the first. Like they showed their app, and it's fucking nuts.
No, it's just
You're just sitting front row at the game. Is that how it works, or what?
No, I think this one was just that you could have all the games up at once. So like as many, so as many games up as you want.
But then
also all the
the one
stats,
you-
Simon. So like if you, for example, if you and I are sweating a card right now, you could have all the stat line for that game as well as the game up. He goes back to look at it.
and then you look at the screen and you tap your finger and it pops up.
Yeah.
Or it has voice control.
Yeah, I mean, listen, like I said, I'm not going to buy the first one for $4,000.
If it was $1,000, I would get it. Even though I wouldn't really not. Well, no, it's just great, man.
You would definitely. Do you know how much masturbating you would do?
No,
with
but
that
what he
fucking
was
thing?
saying is you can't download Netflix onto it, put 2 movies, go to your cottage and use it.
Yet you can't.
Well, I don't know if this iteration, but at some point
But
it
you
will
can
be.
watch Apple TV,
Apple TV, you can. Yeah.
so you can watch Masters of the Air.
It's sort of.
Oh, that would be
has
crazy.
Exclusivity to it.
Fucking IMAX.
Future's
like
coming. this was the best because it was two comedians, and I would say Moshe is super left wing, and it would have been a weird energy had they talked about any of the issues.
Well, we didn't.
But they didn't.
The deaf part was really the most interesting, and we gave it whatever. You know what I mean? But that really, to me, was the meat.
Oh
and
no, but this is why you
potatoes of
should
this
listen
one.
to it. Again, we can only say so much. And the best part is in his book, he wrote a passage where he says the N-word, obviously.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And
Yeah.
when he's going to read his book, he's like, I am not doing this. And he called up the guy the story is about and got him to read it.
Yeah,
And
that's
Larry
hilarious.
reads a line.
There's this rapper out there. I forget his name. Something Malibu.
Okay.
Anyways, he did this new song. I saw a clip of it, and he says the N-word, but he doesn't say the N-word. A black person comes in and says the N-word for the
that's
part
great.
of the song
That's great.
where, but he's clearly
Beating the system.
Yeah,
wrote a song
Yeah.
that has the N-word in it a whole bunch of times. You know what I mean? It's beating the system. There you go.
I mean, that doesn't matter, dude. If you go back, like Dr. Dre's album, 2001, if you go back and look at the writing credits, Eminem wrote most of his verses.
Yeah.
Jay-Z wrote one of his verses.
Did
So, like,
Eminem use the N-word in his music?
no, but what I'm saying is he wrote Dre verses where Dre
Really
definitely.
jumped on you there. Right?
I was just asking.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't, though.
I know, but no. What do you mean?
Well, no, because I immediately was like, I'm almost
You
certain.
scanned your brain,
Yeah.
rolled
Yeah.
of all
I
his
had
lyrics?
a quick, no.
There was an article that showed all the words used in songs.
Yeah, I
you
sent it
showed
to
it to
you,
me.
yeah.
Yeah, that was you. I give this a 4.5. I love Moshe Kasher.
Well, that's a fucking huge score.
I give it a
for this
4.5
one.
as well.
This is insane. I give
Listen,
it
we
They
can't.
didn't talk about any
Yeah, I was
issues.
just gonna say, dude, this is exactly if these episodes don't check the boxes, I don't know what will. Like this guy's not on regularly. They talked about something interesting that interested
fighting.
all of us.
They talked about the craft of comedy.
I
Yeah.
totally agree. It would be like a
Animals. They talked about
B-.
animals.
So I give it a 7.3.85.
7. This fucking guy. All right, great, wonderful. Thank you for that, Simon. All right, that's an episode. If you made it this far, that's incredible. Maybe, just maybe, you're willing to go a step further. We have a Patreon. If you want to support the show, you can do so for as little as $5 a month. For that $5, you'll get a bunch of stuff. You should check it out. Post-show, that sort of stuff.
You know what they're gonna get?
What? Oh, this Bigfoot stupidity that you want? No, they're not getting that.
Oh, you're
They're
getting it.
definitely getting it.
Oh, we're going to live stream the Super Bowl right here. So you
Watch
can,
the game with
You
us.
can watch along with us.
Come on, chat. Let me know if that's a good idea.
That will be next Sunday. We will be live just before the kickoff. Simon's going to stay for the whole game. We're each going to
We'll
make.
definitely be here for the
Simon's
first
going to
half.
stay for the whole game. There's no reason to be like this. Like
Okay,
you're not
chat.
60.
40 likes and I'll kick Simon the balls.
Anyway, that's an episode. We hope you have a great week. We hope you enjoy your weekend. Thank you to BetterHelp. And as usual,
Keep your eyes